What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in, Norma, Barney, L. Good to have you guys. All right. Hope you all having a good morning. Cat, welcome in, Cat. Cat, do you prefer me calling you Oleg or Cat? Carol, good morning. Good morning, Carol. Oleg, do you like Oleg or Cat? I'll try to get it right on whichever one you want to go with. I think you told me before. I just can't remember. Got it, Oleg. Sounds great. Sounds great. Cheryl, good morning from Minnesota. Minnesota Gophers. Let's wait a couple minutes to get other people in here, and then we'll go ahead and start. Look for something real quick. Just looking for some up here real quick, guys. Just give me a minute. Give time for people to come in. Welcome in, Melly. Welcome in. Good to have you. Barney's in the house. Good to have you, Barney. Jolene, welcome in, Jolene. Good to have you. All right, all right. I'm going to look at one more thing. Just give me 1 second more. I want to see one more thing here. All right, all right. Sam, good morning, Sam. All right. So, first thing I'd like to, first of all, mods, if anybody asks anything about um, the wish list, let them know that we're not doing anything right now. There's been a glitch on the wish list. And here, I think Groundsky purchased something here earlier. And we're, for some reason, they're asking us to provide either a tracking number or some sort, and we're having issues with it. So just do me a favor. If people ask them, tell them that we're not doing anything with wish list right now until we can get this thing resolved. So just I don't want people to be losing anything. Now they'll reimburse anybody who has bought some things, which they have. They'll reimburse them, so they're not going to be out. But it's just becoming a pain in the rear trying to get everything figured out. And I think a lot of it has to do with, having a locker and having them send it there and then going ahead and trying to, go there and get whatever item you're trying to get out. And then they're telling you, well, you need a reference number, and et cetera. It's just a pain right now. So if you guys get a chance, somebody asks you anything about that, just make sure you tell them we're not really doing anything with that right now because it's just really confusing. It may not be confusing, but hey, it is very confusing. So until we figure it out, till further notice, just hold up on anything on the wish list for me. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you all. And thank you. All right, everybody, let's get started. Let's get started. So there's been a lot of things going on here. And some of the things that have gone on is that we're looking at literally, we're looking at the fact that on the 16 kids that were rescued up there in Hampton, Ohio, Vinton County. Now, I want to go and touch on it, and this is just going to cover different things on different cases. So I'll try to stick with one, and then we'll bounce to the other. Sam says, "Crap, guys, we got to take back the winning lottery ticket. We were cheating to get it for DD. They reimbursed those 56 million. Oh, that is too funny, Sam. That is too funny. Good morning, Bible. Welcome in. Good to have you. Oh, that is funny. Oh, Lord. All right. So in the idea of the 16 kids that were rescued, did you get the article? I did, Oleg. Very interesting. Very interesting. Matter of fact, I'll try to bring it up on here. Oh, actually, I'll just read it out so everybody will know, what we're talking about. Actually, I'll do that here in a minute. I guarantee it, because that was a very good article. So the 16 kids, there has been a thing where now the judge has granted that on Gary Siders Jr. and is it Elizabeth? Not Elizabeth. Christina, the stepmom, that they are going to go ahead and they've been approved to get for a better lack of words, a competency test taken, whether they're fit to stand trial, whether they're able to understand what the charges are. Now, this is an avenue that they've been seeking, but it's the idea that now the judge is giving them 30 days to have this psychiatric evaluation done. And if they find that Gary Siders Jr. and Christina do not have the means of understanding what the hell is going on, then you can't obviously take anybody to court who don't get it, right? And so this is, in my opinion, another way this is another way they're trying to get out from everything that has happened, everything that has come out, which, yeah, in my opinion, they need to be held accountable. But that's what the judge has granted. So it's going to be interesting to see, how this goes. And the only ones really still on track to be, for a better lack of words, to stand for the hearing on all this is going to be Elizabeth, the mom, and Gary Sr., even though he's in the hospital. So I find it very rich that they're not able to understand what's going on. I mean, in my opinion, I find that Gary Siders Jr., I'm just going to say Jr., and you guys know who I'm talking about, has literally, I mean, I believe in my heart of hearts, in my opinion, that he is literally the person who drove this once his dad became very losing mind or whatever, and he has basically been the driving force in what has happened in this family. So I'm not sure I buy the fact that he doesn't know what's going on. I don't buy the fact that Junior doesn't understand what he was doing. I think that he purposely and knowingly understood, in my opinion. Bible, I wonder if any of the adults are mentally competent to stand trial. Honestly, I mean, when you look at it on surface, anybody and or everybody would probably say no, right? They would probably say you can't be in your right mind and live like that and go through that. And you cannot be in your right mind and put kids through that, right? That's point blank. However, there's always loopholes where people try to get out of certain responsibilities. And I just think that they did not put, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing and what we have been covering, that they have not put these kids first, that they have not made sure these kids were in better living conditions, going to school, getting educated as a whole, not as in they've been there for a couple months and then they move. I'm talking as a whole. And I think it's sad because they're using tax dollars, literally the few that Vinton County has, they're using tax dollars to go ahead and try to work around that system. Do I think they're mentally all there? There's definitely some screw looses, without a doubt. That is pretty obvious. There's some screw looses. But I think they're screw looses on what they see as important, what they think is important, and what they know is important. I think they understand those dynamics because to me, it seems like everything has been about, the husband, the wife, the grandfather, and the stepmom. And what I mean by that is that, they're going to be fed. They don't look like they're struggling for any food. They don't look like they're going hungry. They don't look anything. Those kids are the ones that were malnourished, that were not being fed, that were given, for a better lack of word, makeshift different things to try to just keep them alive, in my opinion. Let me read some of these real quick. But that's a good point, Bible. Sam, I would say they are mentally not all there because poor people know there are programs. I would say they are mentally not all there because poor people know there are programs like food stamps, cash assistance, welfare, medical, etc. Heat phone, they could have lived in a very well government, without a doubt, Sam, without a doubt. And I think they know that. I just think that when it's all said and done, I think that they really just didn't put their kids first. They put themselves first. And being that there's all these government programs that they could get help, they didn't want help because they wanted to keep, and this is where I go back to Junior, they wanted to keep everything hush hush and everything within that little circle to keep possibly having babies, to keep having kids, and maybe that's why they didn't send them to school. They didn't ask for help. It's not because they didn't need it. It's because they didn't care whether their kids got it or not. They just didn't want to be exposed, which then tells me they knew what they were doing, in my opinion. Good point. Agree, Carol, because they hit a lot. If they don't know, they would feel the need to hide things. Absolutely. And I think they were definitely hiding things, in my opinion. Melly, good morning, Bible. Jolene, I feel really oddly about the state trying to take these kids so fast. It doesn't sound right. That's something odd about that, in my opinion. I mean, I can understand that. But I think it's now come to a point where they're trying to figure out, how do we, and I'm going to say this word, how do we save these kids? And what I mean by saving these kids, how do we give them the opportunity to literally make it in this world, to survive in this world? I mean, it's bad enough and hard enough for people who are sane, people who get it. It's hard enough to make it in life. How are they supposed to make it without any education, without any proper upbringing, that at least from what we can see, right? So I think it's a big stretch there that I think the state is saying, how do we make sure they're going to have a chance in life? And in that aspect, I don't fault the state. Would I like to see somebody come in and take them all? Of course. It's not like anybody can just fit 16 kids right off the bat, And is this something that I would like to see, that maybe a family member step up if they are very well set in their lives? Absolutely. I just don't know that that's even possible, because you're talking about a lot of therapy. You're talking about a lot of education that they're going to have to retrain and go through just to get by. So I don't fault I fault the state for not checking up on them, for not doing their job in that aspect. But as far as making a decision to reach out and possibly help them, I don't really fault the state in that, because of the fact that they're probably just trying to see how these 16 kids are going to survive in this world that we live in. You know what I mean? But did the state drop the ball? Absolutely. There was no checkups. There was nothing done after those kids were born. They have very little information short of the birth certificates. So that's where I'm kind of on that. But that's a good point, Jolene. Good point. Norma, this has been going on for 4 years. They are plain ignorant. They know they are in trouble and wasn't expected to get caught. Absolutely. I believe they knew exactly what they were doing, in my opinion. I believe it was almost like, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but almost like Junior just wanted to have his pleasure, his fun, do whatever he wanted to with his wife, and didn't even think about the consequences of when she got pregnant. How were they going to take care of that kid, that child? It's like, it's one thing to even in this case, if he would have even tried to practice safe intercourse with his wife, that may have even helped. But it doesn't appear that he even did that. It appears that he didn't care. He just wanted what he wanted when he wanted it, and didn't understand the consequences of who are the ones that are going to get left behind, not being able to literally make it in life. I don't think they really cared about that, to be honest. That's just my opinion. Very well said, Norma. Sam, I think they knew what they were doing, but too proud or embarrassed, scared to ask for help or government assistance, probably afraid that they applied state would come break up family and defending their act. That's a good point, Sam. In the way I'm seeing it, I don't think they had any pride in themselves, in all honesty. And let me explain to you why I say that. It's a good point. The reason I say I don't believe in my heart that they had any pride in anything is because they lived the way they lived. And that's not somebody who has pride, who cares about how they're perceived and how they're looked at. You're not going to live like that. You're not going to dress your kids like that. You're not going to put your kids at last, put them at the back of the bus, so to speak. You're going to actually put them more likely first because they can't defend for themselves. They can't fend for themselves for nothing, right? No little kid can fend for themselves. So in my opinion, I get what you're saying, and that's a good point. But I really think that they had no pride in themselves. I don't think they were raised with how society looked at them as a whole, or how society would look at them as a whole if they were living like this. I mean, and I grew up with a big family of 19. If I had, let's say, 12 kids or 16 kids, I can assure you that when we have our kids, I'm going to make sure that they have a place to sleep, a clean place to sleep. They're going to have every opportunity to excel in school. The problem is, I don't think they even cared, in my opinion, because school was not a big deal, probably because it wasn't a big deal to them. Maybe school wasn't stressed to them as kids. So I don't think that was a big issue, when we know that it does help them progress and interact and socialize in society, right? So in that aspect, I don't think they really cared. I think these people were just doing what they wanted to do and not understanding that at some point in life, those questions were going to have to be answered. How is this child going to make it? How is this child going to be able to adapt in life? I don't think they were looking down the road, because it was all about them at the very beginning. And once it got out of hand that there was so many, then maybe they went ahead and kept everything quiet. But it still goes to show you they had no pride in their family. Not the kids, because they're only being told and they're only being taught what they're being taught, which I don't see any bit of. I just don't see any bit of pride in mom and dad, grandma, stepmom. I'm not sure that any of them gave a damn about those kids, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Good point, Sam. Good point. Right, because of the actions that they took. Absolutely. Kat Oleg says authorities need to deeper into the family tree and see what's been hidden, and don't mean the youngsters getting married. No, totally agree. And I'm going to share a letter that Kat had sent to me that literally has basically talked about, a case that's within that family. And I'll read it to you guys here in a minute. But well said, Oleg. Norma, good morning, Jolene. Melly, good morning, Jolene. L, exactly, Norma. L, in agree, Oleg. I hope 100%. I hope they look more into it. Hard to know how many more kids are being treated like this, in my opinion. Without a doubt. Well said. Bible, I got to agree that the adults took better care of themselves than the children. I mean, to me, that's what it appears. And it's obvious to see it, because you see how these kids are living. My God, when they went in there and get these kids out, they said there was bugs all over them. There was feces. They were laying on feces and stuff. I don't know about you all, but that's not a family that's not a parents that's really proud, proud of, that they don't want to take a handout. Really? Come on. I don't think that's anything to do with them getting help. I think that it was so they had let things go. It's kind of like you don't get that oil change when you're supposed to, and you just run it 20,000 miles. Sooner or later, the wheels are going to come off. The engine's going to blow, right? I think that's how they were looking at it. Like they were living for now, for themselves, not for those kids. And I think that's the downfall. Just my opinion. Good point. Bingo, DD. You nailed it. Thank you. Well said, Jolene. But look at Elizabeth. If you would have seen her in situations where she was somewhere without these kids, we would have been, oh my God, help her, please. True. That is very true. We would have seen her and we would have said, absolutely, let's get this lady some help. She needs some help, But what does that really mean in the big picture? We're only seeing her and we're only saying, let's get her some help. If we had seen all of them kids dressed the way they all were, living in the conditions they all were, and we came to the house, we would look at her and say, how in the hell could you do this to your kids? How in the heck could you literally raise these kids like that in this, for a better lack of words, trash? So I get it. You're looking at it from Elizabeth, which is fine. I totally understand that. And you're right. And we would do everything we can. People churches would reach out to her if she was going to church or whatever. But what we're literally looking at is that's why she didn't have her kids around her. Because it wasn't important to her. You know what I mean? It wasn't something where she cared that it was that necessary to get that type of help and assistance. I don't think it's a bad thing for people to request help from the government when you need it. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And the proud thing, that shit was out the door a long time ago. They lost that opportunity of trying to claim that. Don't ask me why. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, because I just had something weird happen to my screen. Okay, so let me go back down so I can read everybody else's comment as well. Authorities need to deeper in the family. Jolene, exactly. Got to find where I was at. Jolene. But look, Elizabeth, there you go. Okay, agree, Norma. So sad and disgusting in my opinion. Jacqueline, good morning. Welcome in, Jacqueline. Good to see you. Bible hiding does look guilty. It really does. It doesn't look like they're trying to get those kids help at all costs. It doesn't look like they're trying to do what they can to get those kids every opportunity to succeed in life. Well said. Bible, Millie, Ole. I have started another family tree on information from Christina's wedding certificate. In 50 years, I have never come across a family as complicated as this one. After seeing that note that you sent me, yeah, it's very eye-opening. And like I said, we're going to cover that here in a sec. Circumstances were so bad they had no choice but to take the kids. The kids deserved a chance. Absolutely. In my opinion, well said, Al. In my opinion, that's why the state had to act to take these kids. They had to figure out how, if they don't get these kids help as quick and as soon as possible, and start to give them that opportunity of learning something, these kids are not going to make it in society. And it's only going to get harder in everyday life, as you all well know. So I don't think the state really had a choice but to do this. Do I blame the state for not doing their checkups and their checking up on these family who was having all these kids? Absolutely. Somebody dropped the ball, and it was the state. No doubt about it. People were not doing their job. But with that being said, those parents still need to be held accountable because they were not doing what was expected of what we would expect parents to do for their children. Just saying, my opinion. Sam, there are plenty of people with large families grew up poor. I remember going with my father and grandfather picking wild greens on railroad tracks and shooting rabbits and pheasants for extra food. I agree. I've had 19 in my family. 19. I was the youngest of 19. I get it. I totally get it. But there's not a day went by where my mom and dad didn't make us go to school. There wasn't one day that went by where mom and dad did not keep clean clothes and make us take our baths and or at that time it was baths. We really didn't have showers. We're not we're not really that big when I grew up. So we had baths. They made us do all these things, and I'm thankful they did because they gave me a chance. They gave all of us in our family a chance, and we all, thank God, seem to excel. So the idea, literally, that that this is what's happening. There's no excuse for it. None whatsoever. Jacqueline, hit the likes to support the channel and subscribe. Become a Devil Pump investigator. Be a member, everybody. We need to start growing that base. The members are declining. They are declining. Not that we're declining as far as subscribers, but the members are declining. Just want to throw that out to everybody. Oleg. Wow, Oleg. Norma, yes, 1985, that chose to live that way. They could have maintained their home. It was all laziness and them adults. I agree. Look, you could probably go in that house and in a matter of a week, that thing could be transformation 101, right? You could take out all the garbage. You could sit all the garbage outside. You could maybe get I'm sure at this point, Dollar General would let you borrow their rug, their steam cleaner rug if they had rugs, and maybe even using the tools to clean the beds and everything. They could have done a big transformation if they really wanted to. They just didn't want to. It's too much work. And I do believe that, Norma. Well said. Well said. Good morning, Jacqueline. Melly, those kids are going to need so much support. My heart breaks for them. Without a doubt, Melly. Well said. Those kids are going to have it hard, especially probably half of them going up are going to be very, very difficult to get them back to that learning curve, because they're so far behind. It's going to be difficult. And at this point, that's what you have to do to give them a chance to survive in life. That's just the bottom line. Very well said. Yes, Melly, exactly. Norma, I agree. I do think they were incompetent in some ways, though. However, they knew what they were doing, in my opinion, or new society wouldn't accept it, without a doubt. Why? Because they were constantly going ahead. They were constantly going ahead and trying to cover it up continuously. And if they thought about those kids, in my opinion, if they thought about those kids, I would think literally that they would have went ahead. If they thought about those kids, they would have put their pride aside if that's what it was for them. I don't think they had any pride, to be honest. But if they did have a little bit of inclination of having pride, I think they would have swallowed their pride and literally, and I do mean literally, they would have went and did everything they could for those kids by getting assistance, now you can get kids can get, go back to school clothes. They can get, vouchers for clothes. They can get vouchers for free shoes. They can get their free books. They can get free meals at schools because of they're so impoverished. You know, once again, everything was about how they would be looked at, not how those kids are going to be able to function down the road. Just my opinion. Very good point. Very good point. Very much support those kids are going to need, Melly, without a doubt. Norma, very well said. L, very well said. Norma, exactly. Carol, I agree, Norma. It's so irresponsible, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm not saying it's easy, guys. I'm not saying like I said, it's not easy. But you have to be willing to do what you have to do for the better sake of your kids. You have to, if you're going to continue to have children, they have to be your number one full attention. And I think there was a big neglect, bigger than big. But they could go in there, they could clean out that house, things could look so spotless. It could be great. Those kids could, even if they slept on a mattress on the floor, okay, a mattress on the floor would have been nice. A clean mattress with a clean sheet, with a pillow would have been nice. I mean, those are basic things, everybody. Don't have to have big beds in every room. There's only 2 rooms. But they could have something, even sleeping bags, to be able to sleep on the floor, keeping it clean. But that wasn't important to them. It is very irresponsible, no doubt. Well said, Melly. Carol, love, I don't have no sympathy for any of them adults. My concern is them poor children, what they went through. Very well said, Norma. Yes, DD, you are absolutely right. April, good morning, April. Welcome in. Welcome in. April, if anybody asks, I know I told the other mods earlier, if anybody asks on the wish list, we're going to hold up on the wish list because we're having some difficulty issues. And so I just want to throw that out because you weren't here. We're having some difficulty issues. So if ground scare anybody asks about how to do the wish list, just let them know right now there's some issues. They're wanting us to provide tracking numbers and whatnot, but we're not getting that from whoever is purchasing whatever they're purchasing. So therefore, we're just going to put a halt until we figure it out. They will all get their money back. Whoever has bought things will get their money back. Just wanted you to make sure you knew that. Carol, Norma, I completely understand. Barney, perhaps Junior has a sexual overdrive. He's got something. And yeah, I mean, yeah, sounds kind of gross, but yeah, true. Very possible. Sam, you cannot help someone who is not willing to help themselves. Well said, Sam. Well said. Could pick up pop cans, grab fishing poles, bring home fish, cut firewood, wild greens. There's always a way. Is the end of the day, that's what you're saying, Sam. There's always a way. And I agree. I totally agree with you, 100%. Carol, but I believe Elizabeth was also a victim. She was a victim, Carol. I do believe she was a victim. But at some point, she has to understand that these kids, we can say she's a victim because she is a victim. But at some point, she has to also, she's a contributor to what has happened. You know what I mean? She's a victim, but she's also has contributed to these kids' malnourishment, not taking care of these kids, not keeping them clean, not keeping their hygiene up to speed, not doing anything that what we would expect parents to do for their kids. But it's a good point. Good point. But yes, I do believe she was a victim without a doubt. But at some point, she has to understand those kids, she can be a victim and get by through life. Those kids can. And they're definitely victims. Bible, I'm always interested in the generational dynamics. Well said. That is very true, Bible. Norma, Miss Barney, my thoughts exactly. Jolene, we are going off of what the county said on the state of the kids. I know it had to be bad seeing the pics from home. We are looking at it as feral children should have been said about them. Shouldn't. And I get that. I get that. There was some poor word choices. There was many poor choice words that were said at the beginning of this. And I agree with that, Jolene. I agree with that 100%. You know, in the same token, that doesn't overshadow that these kids were not being taken care of, were not being raised in a way where they would have a chance to make it in life. That's the ultimate thing. But was there poor words choices using? Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Good point, Jolene. Bible, Mrs. B, a low IQ is often persecuted to a high X drive. Very good point. Very good point. Carol, they didn't have common sense either. Well, that's a damn for sure. Well said, Carol. L. Barney, he also exposed himself to some not family. I feel maybe he has some type of sexual problem. And that's the scary part. Because of the nature, it's not so much that like it's a backbreaker of a case on these indecent exposures. But what it does tell you is that did this ever spread to any of those kids, those little girls, and or for that matter, little boys? I don't know if it did, but I guarantee you when the psychologists are doing their therapy with them, they are definitely going to be looking at that question big time. They're going to be looking, was there anything, because it gives you a sense where their mentality is, right? Where his mentality is, that it is very possible you can't dismiss that. You know what I mean? There's no way to dismiss that. So I think in all that was done, I think it needed to be done. There was no other choice, in my opinion. April, boarding up the house tells me they knew what they were doing was wrong, in my opinion, without a doubt. Boarding up the house, the windows, not letting the kids see daylight by going outside because they didn't want them to be seen. All these things are actions done to prevent from them being exposed. So when you go back in the psychic mind, they exactly know if we let our kids out, that people are going to see them all running around and probably, yeah, I don't have to even say anything after that. They're going to see these kids are like, for a better lack of words, I don't even have the heart to say it, but they're going to be looked at like, what is this? Like they were born in the wild. And I think that's on them, because that's why they knew what they were doing was wrong and they did it anyway. Yes, April, 100%. A good morning. Bible, Carol, think Elizabeth was a victim too. No doubt Elizabeth was a victim. She was a victim when she was in her upbringing. That's why she ran away at 13. She was a victim, when she got married to Junior, in my opinion, how he treated her, in my opinion. But that's right there is where it goes. I have to also say, but she wasn't a victim when it came to raising those kids. They were the victim. And I don't know how you parse that respectfully. I don't know how you parse that, but that really is the truth. Rhythm and Clues. Hi, guys. Good to have you, Rhythm and Clues. Thank you for being here. April. Hello, sweet Norma. L. Hi, April and Rhythm. Carol, Bible, it is sad. If you guys are not a member of Rhythm and Clues, please go ahead and subscribe to their channel. Carol, Bible, it is sad. Very sad. Miss Barney, April, I thought the house was boarded up by Ellie. No, it was boarded up originally from them. It was all boarded up when they got done because kids were breaking into that home, so they went ahead and boarded it up. But that was boarded up before. That's what they were tearing those, but they were almost like, it almost looked like some type of 2x4s covering the windows. That's what they were tearing through that to get those kids out of the windows, right? But it was boarded up, just not the way LE did it after they got everybody out and then they wanted to secure the premise. They boarded it with a bunch of sheet wood, just big, long sheets of wood, and just started nailing it in. Rhythm, hello, Bible 1985. Chris, good morning, all. Welcome in, Chris. Carol, hello. April, Barney, I thought they had it boarded the windows and door. But I thought they had it boarded the windows and door. I saw the same thing, April. I saw when the officers were there at the front, they were taking down the boards that were boarded on the window, that front window and the side windows. They were seen taking those boards off of the windows. So it was boarded. It was boarded. Sam, a friend just purchased a multi-unit apartment complex and he's cleaning it out. One of the units had people like this in it, had working plumbing. One of the tenants used floor as bathroom, made at landlord sick. Oh, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Wow. L, Bible, and Chris. Norma, my opinion, they didn't even care for them kids, and living the way they did, just pitiful. Shame on them adults. I can understand that. No doubt about it, Norma. No doubt about it. Good morning, Chris. Oleg, how did Elizabeth go from the cheerleader pick looking so healthy to what she looked like now? What happened in between her? Well, it's funny you said it because there was pictures out there of how she looked before to when she got married to how she looks now. My God, guys, if you haven't seen that pic, Google it up. If I'll try to find it, but they show when she was younger, and she didn't look nothing like she looks now, nothing. So that's a very good point, without a doubt. Norma froze, DD. Devil Dog, can you hear me? A psychiatrist rehabilitation worker, I went into some pretty bad environments, but nothing that looked as bad as that. Norma, you're good. Bible, yes, DD. Rhythm, thought it was me. Yes, now, DD. Norma, thumbs up. Rhythm, yep, hear you. Thank you. Sam, there's a lot of people not saying this group, but large population of veterans are homeless, sleeping in bus stops in winter, etc., because they refuse government assistance. Some people just refuse to help. Well, there's a lot. To me, in the military with a lot of veterans, first of all, none of them should be homeless. None of them should be homeless. It never should be a veteran who has served his country come home and be homeless. I don't care if they gave him a government house or a housing. No veteran, in my opinion, should ever be homeless. And even if they're struggling, the government needs to step in for those veterans because they gave a lot to serve their country, and that should count for something. Saying that, I think a lot of veterans know that they can live day to day. The ones that are veterans, they're dealing with certain things. Some of them are dealing with mental issues. Some of them dealing with just different things that they were exposed to. And I think a lot of times they know they can get by, and no one's going to look at a veteran and say, "Oh, he should be ashamed of himself." Not anybody that I know, and so the idea that they have fallen through those cracks because they have, for a better lack of words, I don't think anybody wants to be homeless, but they're going through a lot of different elements, not necessarily created by themselves, where when we're looking at this case, it's all created by themselves. It's all created the way they handle it. And with veterans, you're right. There's a lot of homeless veterans. Not one should be homeless, as far as I'm concerned. You know, because they gave up so much to this country. However, there's also the dynamics of what they saw, what they went through in a lot of cases, that it's hard for them to adapt. And so that's probably why we see that. Excuse me. Bible. I bet that a lot. I bet that's a lot to see and endure. It really is. It really is. I can tell you this. In my life, my kids, my family has been everything that has kept me going every day. Let me just be frank and honest. My family, my kids, that has been the driving force behind everything I have done in my lifetime. It's because I know that is my responsibility. And I know that they can't fend for themselves. And even now, as young adults and older adults, I'm looking at them going, still my responsibility. So I say that because they have been my inspiration to do the things that I do. That's how I operate. Not everybody has that same drive or the same reasoning, but that's what motivated me was my family, literally. Melly, hey Ash, yes. Norma, hello, Rhythm, hello, Melly. Norma, hello, April, Melly, Norma, yes, Dee Dee. L, Bible, at times it was pretty bad, but it felt like my calling. I wanted to help, but in some situations there was very little. I hated making reports, but safety always number one. Totally understand that, L. Totally understand that. Carol, hello, Rhythm, Norma, amen, Dee Dee, Melly, good morning, April. Barney, think about this. If she had some babies who became unalive shortly after birth and the birth of conjoined twins, it's possible that some or all were born with disabilities. Yeah. I think they're going to find out that once they go ahead and start, they started their therapy already, but once they get into it, they're probably going to see that there is a lot of damage there. And who knows from what, and that's where the fear comes in with like the dad with the indecent exposures. Did that ever filter out to some of the kids? And I know that's what they look at as well. Safety of those kids. Sam, exactly. But they provided the essentials always. Back then, they provided the essentials always. Well said. Jolene, I understand them making their children out of the home, taking their children out of the home, but I don't understand them filing for permanent custody for the children so fast. I feel money in the county pockets. Well, the state had to award them $1 million just to cover for 1 year's worth of therapy and needs that these kids were going to need. So, yeah, I don't know how, other than to say you have to start as soon as possible to get these kids caught up to what they lacked on their upbringing, right? You have to go ahead and start that process. Otherwise, you're that much further in the hole. And I think that's why, in my opinion. But good point, Jolene. April, they chose to live that way, maybe, but the children had no choice. Well said, April. Well said. Melly, are they keeping the kids in the same state? I think they're probably going to keep the kids in the same facility, for a better lack of words. But I don't know if they're all going to be kept the same. They may put them in different, the reason why they would put them in different type of homes, if for a better lack of words, is if they just don't have enough beds to fit 16. You know what I'm saying? So they may have to put maybe half here, 4 here, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever it takes to get these kids in a very better environment that they were in. Norma, the only victim I see in this case is those poor children. No sympathy for the adults. My thoughts, they belong behind them bars. Good point, Norma. L. Jolene, most times they try to reunite with the parents, but this was extreme. They have to do for what's best for the kids, without a doubt. Well said, L. Carol, if no running water can always clean them in a creek, river, etc. Well, you remember when we left, when we were there in Hamden, and we left, we came by that really beautiful lake area, not that far away, just down, I believe it was just down. If you took that turn that took you to Dollar General, and you just keep going straight, I think that's the route we took. There's a big, beautiful, big lake out there. I'm not sure. I remember reading what it was, but can't remember right now. Beautiful lake, because I remember looking at my wife and I said, I wonder why they never came out here for like relaxation or taking the kids for a swim or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So there is that opportunity. Sometimes you just got to think outside the box. Bible, you were light in darkness. Melly, not only will the kids need help, the parents do too. Even if they wanted their kids back, it would be a very long time, in my opinion. Well said, Melly. Well said. L, Bible, yes, I love my clients, every single one of them, and I miss it. I can only imagine now. When you do it for so long, it just becomes a part of you. Norma, can you imagine if the law didn't go up to their home that day? This would all still be going on. Praise God, they got found out and the children are safe. It's a very good way to look at it, no doubt. Jolene, I understand that they're looking out for the kids, but I have such a hard time looking at the county as helping the kids. I live close by and I don't see them wanting to help covering their own. But you're probably 100% right on that, Jolene. You're 100%. Look, this all comes back to the state for not doing their job. And yes, we're harping on the parents because that's the closest thing I think we as parents can understand and relate to. But you're right. The state is definitely doing everything they can. That $1 million wasn't just because we felt sorry for the kids. That $1 million is probably because there was going to be a major lawsuit down the road, and they didn't want to deal with that because they failed to do their job. April, okay, Dee. Hang on a second. Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye. All right. I got to share this to Chris, everybody. Give me 1 second. There you go, Chris. They should have been done better, Jolene. I agree. They dropped the ball. Oleg, yes, Elizabeth is a victim. Came in late. I was making breakfast. Thanks for letting me know. You got it, April. Ellie Cat. Good morning, sir. Good morning, my smart friends. Good to have you, Ellie Cat. Welcome in. Good morning, Ellie. Oleg. Hi, Ellie. Ellie Cat. Good morning, Ellie. Melissa Curry, welcome in. Bet the kids feel better just being clean. Oh gosh, I can only imagine. I mean, when we were out in the desert during Desert Storm and you couldn't really take showers every day, I mean, it was rough. And I can't tell you, you'd go 3-4 days without a shower. And then when you finally took one, when they were giving shower runs, my God, it was just a refresher, no doubt about it. So, yeah, I definitely understand. Chris is in the house, everybody.
Am I?
Sam, also drug court and child protective a lot of times plays a role allowing bad parenting, parents charged with drug abuse and they have kids in the home, parents get rehabilitation. A lot of times it gets worse. Good morning, Ocean. What's going on, Chris?
Nothing. What's going on? What's going on with you? It's going. It's a morning. You know what I mean? Just another morning. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hello, good to see you. Glad to be here. There's the laugh. There's the laugh.
Good morning. Good to be here, everybody. Oh, Lord.
What are we talking about? 16 kids?
Yeah, talking about the 16 kids. It looks like the court has approved for a psychiatric evaluation on Junior and on not Elizabeth, but I think it's Christina, the stepmom.
Yep.
So they're going to do an evaluation. They have 30 days. They told the lawyer they had 30 days to get the psychiatric thing on whether they know, like whether they're able to stand in trial and they understand what the heck they're being charged with. So we're just covering that, and it's kind of taking this off its own legs, man. It's just taking off. It is a very disturbing case. Yes, it is. It is. I mean, so many different opinions and good opinions, just so many different opinions on all this, and you know, at the end of the day, it does seem like this is a big thing by the state because the state knows they dropped the ball, you know, big time. But those parents too, at some point, they have to be held accountable because they knew what they were doing. You know, they knew what they were depriving these kids of, and it didn't seem like Junior or Elizabeth or any of them were looked like they were going hungry. You know? Right. They all seemed like they were fit, but those kids were malnourished. Those kids were not good. So definitely they knew what was going on. Yep. I did. Yeah. Good morning, Ocean Ways. Hello, Carol, Nelly. Good morning, Melissa. Marianne, good morning, everybody. Norma, good morning. Carol. A lot of good mornings, everybody. Good morning, Marianne. Jersey Girl, welcome in, Jersey Girl. Good to have you. Carol, I'll be driving for minutes, but listening. So nice. What's your take, man? I did read somewhere that in that area for the 16 kids, well, in the entire state, the people that now are attending to the kids are so overwhelmed that, yes, I did catch somebody ask you in the chat that they may end up having to send some of the kids out of state. Yeah. Because I guess from what I was reading and what I heard is that your state is overwhelmed by a lot over every other state in this country. Oh, wow. For some reason, the rate is incredible. So they may end up having to send the kids somewhere else. But I mean, that could mean other kids that are already in the system. Sure. And I forget, I'll have to look back, but last year alone, they took in a number of kids that was astronomical. It was like record breaking. Wow. Yeah. Well, and it's the ones you don't hear about, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all the kids you don't hear. The only reason that we're even discussing this, obviously, is because of the situation with the 16 kids, which is, and unfortunately, these brothers, sisters, whatever, they're not going to be together. They're going to have to separate. Well, absolutely. No one's going to be able to take them all together. No, and you can only have a certain amount of kids allowed in one home or wherever they end up. So they're going to have to separate, which is even worse. You know what I mean? They've been in a room together for, whatever. One of them's 18, right? The oldest is 18. So she's been in that room for 18 years. Wow.
and then so on and so on. So they haven't even, and like you guys were saying a little bit ago, they didn't even see daylight, it looks like. You know what I mean? They were just, so not only do you have to, these poor kids, the way they were being raised and the way they're being, I don't even know what to say. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the way they've been being, no this, no that. It looks like, look, did you see the room they were staying in? Do you remember the room that we saw? The drywall's missing.
Yep.
After all that, it's just, I don't care. Like, look at, I blame the state too, because the kids stopped going to school. You have, by law, they have to check. Are you homeschooling them? Or, hey, again, maybe we missed that. Maybe we don't know that the state called or stopped by and they, just said, yeah, we're homeschooling them. We're all good. You know what I mean? Because my oldest daughter and my two oldest daughters both homeschooled. And the state would check every year. They would call. You know what I mean? The schools would call. The city would call. Be like, hey, what's going on with your daughter this year? Like, no, she's homeschooling. And we had to provide proof that she was being homeschooled.
Right.
Because you have to go to school. You know what I mean? By law, you have to go to school. So, yeah. And I know they went, and when they stopped going to school, the state had a job to do. And again, who knows? They may have just said, yeah, when they called us and asked us, they didn't say, oh, we have to come and see. We just had to provide them with the school that they were doing online. And that was it. And they were like, oh, okay, good. That's all they care about.
Right. Well, it's sad to say, but the state also gets a lot of tax money from the government.
Yep.
Get a lot of money through for these programs, and it's a money thing too. They want that money. They want those kids to be at school because if they're at a very let's just say lower end economically, they're going to get some of that funds too to help out with those kids. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different behind the scene things, but you're right. Yeah. You're definitely right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and yeah, I'm sure the two that went right to the I don't even think they made it to the emergency room. I think they went right to the ICU, if I remember.
Yeah.
Or intensive care unit, whatever, because they had some stuff going on. But they all went to the hospital, and I mean that's the other thing too. I mean, they're gonna go from where they were living to another place to be taken care of. Number one, you're in the hospital, right? They're going to the hospital to get checked out. They haven't had any vaccinations. They haven't had anything. So now, who knows what type of illness the kids had there already, right? Did they have, I mean, if you look at that room, you can't tell me that they didn't, you can't tell me there was no mildew or anything like that in the room. So deep down, what is their actual illnesses? What do they have? What, did they have bugs? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you look at that room, now you're bringing this to everywhere else that they're going. So they have to be, this is going to be a long, drawn out, expensive cost to the state because of what they're going to have to do to care for these kids, from the day they got taken out till who knows when. But the good thing to know is that there is definitely some amazing families that are going to take these kids in at some point and raise them like their own. And, hopefully these kids can, have some type of a normal, decent life after they go through everything that they have to go through. And that's going to be the next, I would have to say it's going to be the next handful of years, right? I mean, to get get through to medical, to get caught up on everything that they need to get for shots and everything, to go to the doctors and be checked out, do complete physicals. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep carrying on, but we're looking at, probably, 4 or 5 years before they actually can start to recoup and enjoy whatever they can, and that's all that matters right now. You know what? I'm sorry. I could care less what happens to the 4 adults. Really, I could. You live in that goddamn house. I know deep down, they knew what was going on, and they knew, obviously, and they knew it was wrong. You can't tell me they didn't know it was wrong. All you have to do is take one look at that room, the shape that room and that house was in, and there's a problem.
Absolutely.
Look at, was the mother a victim? And maybe I don't know. What would she be a victim of?
Well, I think she was being a victim because when she ran away at 13 and got married at 15, I believe, with Junior. I think she was, for a better lack of word, I don't know this to be, but it would be my guess that she was basically trapped in the sense that she was constantly pregnant every year. So even if she wanted to leave, how is she going to leave? Where's she going to go? And so I think subconsciously in the mind, it could have been affected where she was struggling to find her own identity again. I don't know how any parent could see their kids living the way they were living and it not be like traumatizing even to the parent. So to a certain extent, I definitely see that she was a victim. On the other hand, kind of like I said, I think that even though she was a victim, at some point, as she got older, she needed to do what was right for those kids. And that's where, that parsing, you did go through a lot. She went through a lot, apparently, when she was younger, when she ran away from her home. She went through a lot. So she definitely was a victim of what was happening to her in her earlier life. And then thinking that this was going to be a getaway with Junior only turned out to be probably more sinister than anything. And now she has to step up for those kids. She has to come to a point, even if she's not all there mentally, she has to come to a point of, I can't allow my kids to live like this, I said earlier, it'd take about a week and you could have that house spotless, taking all the trash out, cleaning all the mess, going to Dollar General, and they'd probably let you take their rug doctor so you could, clean your carpets and the beds and whatever, if they even had any. The point is, they really could have done a lot and they failed to do that. So sympathy on them, not really. Understanding that there was a lot of dynamics she had gone through, yeah, without a doubt. And I do think Junior was behind this, in my opinion. He was behind all of this. He allowed this to happen because he wanted it to happen, because he wanted her on her back every day. It's what it appears to be anyway. You know what I mean? Pretty Little Clues. Rhythm and Clues. Hey, everybody, if you haven't subscribed to Pretty Little Clues, make sure you go and subscribe. Very good channel, everybody. April, welcome in. Oh, good to have you here. Please like and subscribe. Let's get those algorithms going, everybody. Click like, subscribe, be a member. Be a member. Hit those emojis and the hearts and the thumbs up and all that good trash so we can get those algorithms going. Carolina Girl, hope everyone has a blessed day. Carolina Girl, you be safe. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Carolina Girl, for supporting the channel like you always do. Appreciate you. Pretty Little Clues. Good morning, Marianne. Barney, no dog wish list not working properly. He will advise us when it is working again. Thank you, Barney. Appreciate that. Marianne, Melly, where is Fabio this morning? Laughing out loud, joking. Oh, thank you for supporting the channel, Carolina. April, I agree. My kids, grandkids, and great-granddaughter keep me going too, DD. They're everything. They're my everything. There are the reasons that I do everything that I do, without a doubt. DD Link. Okay. All right, let me get Chris this link real quick. There you go. There it is, Chris. Casey, I saw a cat named Fritz removed animal control too. He is in house broken and is Maury Povich. What? Maury Povich going to reveal it if he is the father. Oh, Lordy. Chris. So, yeah, you kind of lost it there for a minute, buddy.
No, I kicked myself out again.
Oh, got you.
All right, so I'm just going to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I don't want to hear nothing, not a word about Fabio. Not a word. I just saw one. I don't want to hear another word about it. It was all fake. Somebody took over my channel and just... It was horrible. I don't want to hear about it no more. And you stop laughing.
Fabio.
I don't want to hear about it. Were you on? Did you see that last night?
No.
Oh, you don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
So, I was watching Patriot Pride last night, and I called in just to give my opinion on the show and stuff, and we were talking, and he mentioned Fabio, and it brought up some memory. Oh, here we go again. Anybody that wasn't on last night, now they're going to know. Thanks a lot, Doug. Thanks. So anyways, long story short, my old company that I worked for, we actually did work at Fabio's mansion in California. And so the first day we were there, he wasn't around, but the second day he was there and we got to meet him, very nice. So, and I said to myself, I said, I'm not shy. I'm not ashamed to say anything, but when you see a star on TV, they're handsome. The ladies are great looking. They're covered in makeup. They make themselves but when I met him, my God, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I was like, God damn, are you a good looking man? Like, I mean, just in person, I was in awe almost. I was like, damn. So now I'll be hearing about this for the rest of the day today.
You did it to yourself.
But I did last night, but I don't care, whatever. But yeah, no, it was funny that he brought that up, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So, but yeah, that's my quick story. I don't want to hear nothing else in the chat. Not a word.
Oh my Lord.
So yeah, no, it was
Fabio.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I met him long time ago.
Long hair and shit. He used to
Yeah, but like I said, you know how some stars are, like that, are just, they have an attitude. They don't want to meet, they don't want to talk to you, and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, he was very, very nice. I mean, when they're on TV and they're doing the photo shoots and they're doing all that stuff, it's a different Fabio than when you meet somebody in person and you're talking to them at their house and stuff. Totally different person,
Right.
But in my time with that company, I was lucky, very, very lucky to meet a lot of people. And everybody knows I'm from the Boston area, and I have met Donnie Wahlberg, Mark Wahlberg, all of them, because we dealt with them too, plus at the Brothers restaurant and stuff. Right, so I've gotten to meet them, but I can honestly say, I hope he's not listening, but Mark Wahlberg, you can keep him. You can keep him.
Really?
Yeah, no, not like the others. Definitely not like the others.
Chip on the shoulder?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just his lifestyle. It's just the way he is. He just the way he is. But yeah, no. So yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, Jolene. Mike thought Woody Harrelson was Fabio. A little. They look a little different. I mean, maybe a little close, but so yeah.
You had the hots for Fabio.
Oh yeah. Don't start. I'll kick you out of your show.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, Mark, Pretty Little Clues, exactly. And I don't know why. I have no idea why he is like that. I mean, but he's been like that. It hasn't been since he became, the movie star and stuff. Right. It was even in the singing days, it was the same way. And that I only know from just people that I know that know him. You know what I mean? Right, so, right. I've been, I was thinking last night because I was talking to some friends last night and stuff, and I've been very blessed to be in Boston and to meet the people that I have met. I'm just lucky. I've met a lot of stars and just in this area, you know what I mean? So it's been lucky for me. And remember, my age, and if you can remember somebody's age from the TV show Friends, I grew up with him. I know him. I know his mother. I know the house. I've been to the house, a bazillion times. But, so it's just, I've been really, really lucky, man. Love it. But yes, I feel so bad for these kids, though. I just really, you do this story and then you hear about, the Detroit guy.
Right.
Kills his kids and his wife, and then he lights the house on fire and then he shoots himself. Like, wasn't it bad enough?
Yeah,
What do you, what are you burning the house down for? I don't. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I mean, it's just it's very. None of this makes sense because we can't see. We as parents can't see us doing this to our own kids.
No,
even our enemies for that matter.
No, it's the mental health, though. It's the mental health thing, and it's. You become a different person, I guess. I mean, I've never had to deal with it myself, right. But I've known a few people that have, gone from, hey, how you doing, to just lost. But I don't, it blows my mind how you can even think that somebody could do that, right? At least you would think, and I don't mean this in any way, but leave the kids out of it. You know what I'm saying? They haven't even lived yet, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be killing anybody, but if you are, leave your kids alone. What did they do to you? Nothing. It doesn't make sense to me. It never will.
It doesn't make sense because it's not right.
No, even if you tell me why, if you could give me a perfect 100% reason why he did it, it still doesn't matter. You killed your kids. It doesn't, mental health is I think myself, maybe I'm wrong, but I think mental health is the biggest issue in this country right now. It just, I mean, it has to be. It has to be. I mean, even these mass shootings, right? You can't tell me that the guy that decides to take the AR-15 and goes to a block party in wherever and just starts shooting, you can't tell me that person is normal.
Not normal at all.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. you have to have a problem. I mean, I guess if you're, I guess it's different if you're, I think, maybe tell me if I'm wrong, but I think if you're going to, let's just take, and sorry, anybody from Toronto, but we're, Canada, we're going to use Toronto at that festival, right? The Mexican Brazilian festival, whatever it was, I forget. That was a shooting between two people, right? And that, I think the person that, I don't know, somebody was injured that had nothing to do with it, and I don't remember if they passed or not, but anyways, that's a different scenario, right? That was just, oops, they got into it and people got hurt because they got into it. Then you have the one where, you get your weapon and you go to your job and you do a shooting at your job. That's a different scenario too, because you're going there for a reason. You're going there because they did you wrong, or somebody at your job, did something to you and you're going to take payback. But it's the ones where the guy goes to the mall and does the same thing to anybody. So there's three different scenarios right there, right?
Right.
Number one, I don't understand how you could do it. I understand why it was done. Number two, I understand why that was done too, because there was a reason. But the other guys or the other people that do it just because, that's the mental problem that is, blanketed this entire country. It's a sad situation. Nobody should have to live like that. Like, I mean, is there anybody in the chat that doesn't feel that the next time you go to, Walmart, Target, wherever the hell you're going, that you have to be, you have to be on alert that, hey, something may go down here now these days, because this is what happens. I haven't met anybody that doesn't always ring in the back of their head is like, make sure you're on your toes while you're inside Walmart. Just blows my mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that it just doesn't make sense. I don't know how anybody can live like that and literally not so much live like that, but they can allow or not help their young kids not live like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so hard to even fathom. I mean, I know you could have that house cleaned up in a week, top to bottom, and they could have just kept it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to do.
Yeah, no, it really isn't, and yet. I see everything I see everything that's like falling apart, and it's like, really? It's like, how do you do this? And then, of course, we discussed earlier about they were prideful because that's why they didn't probably want to get, benefits for the kids. So,
Mm-hmm.
all those things. And I'm thinking they had no pride at all. None, in my opinion.
No way.
They had no pride at all. If they did, they wouldn't have lived the way they lived and allowed their kids to look like they did and not give them everything. Give them I mean, could you imagine they could have got free lunches in school?
Mm-hmm.
They could have got, their EBT benefits. They would have gotten shoes to go to school. They would have given them a voucher for clothes. I mean, there was a lot of help out there. And they chose not to because they were worried about they would find out. Well, that doesn't tell me that they don't know what the hell they were doing.
No, they knew what they were doing. Sorry. I mean, if anybody disagrees with that, they knew what the hell they were doing. You know what I mean? To board up the windows, you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. These four people, and you know what? Again, mom and dad, yeah, you're tops on the list for me. Gramps and stepmom come after. It was your house, but I don't know how, you know, the grandfather, the dad, whatever he was. I don't know how he treated his wife. You know what I mean? I don't know if she was on board with this whole thing, but she could be the one that was, you know, afraid to do anything. Who knows, right? We don't know this. But still, you had the opportunity to walk out of that house at any time. You could run out of the damn house, run somewhere and say, we need the police. You know what I'm saying? And nobody did. And, you know, you know, whatever happens to them happens to them. I don't, again, like I said, and it may sound harsh, I don't care about those four. I really don't have any feelings for them. And I don't believe that the mother was a victim the whole time. At the young age of 15, she is the one that had to go to her parents and say, hey, I want to get married. She has to convince her parents to sign away on that. And they did. And do we know why they did? Was there a reason? What did your parents think? Or are they the same as she is? I don't care. Yeah, here you go. I know it was her mother that lived down the street, not too far away, or was it his mother?
It was
her mother, right?
Her mother.
Yeah. Did they even talk?
Once she, from my understanding, once she ran away, they didn't have any really communication. The only communication she had was with her brother.
So they didn't ask about kids?
They didn't ask. They knew, according to them, if I'm not mistaken, they knew she had kids. They just didn't know how many. So that tells me they were never really involved. You know what I mean? They would not be involved because they didn't know how many kids they had. You know?
Yeah, no, it's just
I would say they were not involved for sure.
Yeah. Again, in the end, where we are right now, the best possible thing has happened, and anybody that needs help can get their help. Just, you know, it's all about the kids now. It really is. Absolutely. In my eyes, it's all about the kids. The other four have lived, you know, and again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the mother doesn't deserve help or any of them don't deserve help. But in my eyes, at this point, whatever. It just, you know, it's all about the kids. So
I agree with that.
And I'm sure this isn't the only family that's out there living like this. It just takes that one thing to find out. Like, you know, you can't tell me there's not more families like this.
Oh,
they're out there. Yeah, they're out there.
A lot out there, man.
It might not be. Yeah, it might not be 16 kids, but it doesn't matter if it's 16 or 1. You know.
Yeah, that is very for sure.
Well, yeah, Oleg, I agree. Like, what the hell? Why would you sign off for your 14-year-old kid to get married at 14? Come on. Now, in my eyes, too, the mother that signed off, she deserves to be kicked right in her ass. Sorry, but I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. You just signed away your daughter or your son, whatever. You just signed away their life to this.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. 100%. Yeah,
I don't know. Oh, I closed out the thingy.
Al says Elizabeth does need help. In my opinion, it's pretty clear, but you can't really raise children if you can't stand in trial. In my opinion, very true, very true. Because then you're not able to comprehend. Mother may deserve to see them if it is possible. But being a parent, yeah, I find that very hard to do as well. El, well said. Well said.
And another thing, I love my kids, obviously, like we all do, right? And so I have 5. Most everybody should know. I yap about them enough already. But I have 5 kids, 29, 28, 20, 15, 14. Did I leave somebody out? 29, 28, 20, 15, and 14. And I love them all to death. But the love that I have with my kids is 100% different than the love my wife and kids share. The mother of my kids is the world to them. They don't come to me for anything.
Right.
Right? They all go, and that's, I mean, I'm sure it's not like that with everybody, but again, and I don't believe there could be anybody in the chat or anybody that can't tell me I'm wrong when saying that mothers and their children have a bond that is 100% different than the bond we have with our kids, and that the dads have. Don't get me wrong. Some kids love their dads more. Like my 15-year-old, the first son that you guys had the pleasure of meeting on the stream, he's my shadow, but the love is different. And I've never been able to understand it, but I think it's because, mom carried these children for 9 months, and all that, us dads get to do is, sit around and wait for those 9 months to go by, I mean, we help, obviously, but yeah, it's completely different. And, and I'm not one, and you guys know this, women are very, very strong. Head, mind, everything. Women are, where would us guys be without these women, right? Look I couldn't do half the crap that I do without my wife. I need my wife there. When I was growing up, and my mother, who has passed, 13 years ago, moms can fix everything, right? We all know that. When you're a child, you go to your mother because mom can fix it all. Cuts, right. Scrapes, bruises, broken bones, whatever. Trouble at school, trouble with friends. But mom takes care of everything. To me, now, that's my wife. Babe, I got this problem. Can you help me? Just tell me, I'll take care of it. And that's just how it is, man. Like,
yeah.
What I think it is I was raised right. My mother was, she was a single mom. And, she did everything with me. And, it's just moms are moms, man. Come on now. And don't sit there and pretend anything, Double D. What? Your wife does it all too. And without her, you'd still be sitting outside somewhere. And don't lie. You know it. Miss, oh, honey, would you like your pancakes now with milk? Yes, dear. But can I get a cup of coffee? Yes, dear. I know how it is. So don't try to cover it up.
I didn't say anything.
Now is the perfect time for you to take your headphones off so your wife can hear what I'm saying. The other times about, get me milk too and stuff, leave the headphones on. That way there's...
Just so you know, right now we're talking about the Cider family.
We are. I went on a tangent.
Hey, hang on, Chris. Hey, does anybody know Chaos? Did Chaos get blocked accidentally? Can somebody check to see, please? I just got an email here, and I don't know why they would have got blocked. Could you guys check for me, please? Because I don't want any. I do not want any distractions in the channel, and there's no reason for anybody to be unless it's a troll. Then they gotta go. But other than that, hey, that's not how we roll.
There's enough distractions in here with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, don't agree. What the hell?
Okay, stop. I'm trying to find I think I got to read for. Hang on a second.
Do you have it, or do you need me to find it?
No. I have it. She sent it to me. I just got to find it. And I think it's going to be. It's going to be on this other phone. Oh, dang. All right, here we go. Let me see here. Let me get to the bottom of this. All right. Because I read it last night, and there it is. So I'm going to read you this, okay, everybody? I'm going to read it. Yeah, wow, damn, it's a lot. Holy moly. Okay. This is basically Oleg has been doing a lot of research on this family, the Sider family, the extensions, and how they go ahead and marry at such an early age. The old men find these young girls who, for whatever reasons, feel like they have to marry a young girl, and it's pretty sick if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is I don't know if you probably can't see this, Rob.
Holy crap.
The headline, hang on a second. The headline is at 14, Ohio woman married 48-year-old. Okay. So that's the headline. And I want to read this to you. Tessie Wright was 14, pregnant, December the 2nd, 2002, when her mother and father, Donald and Brenda Wright, and Gilead County Judge William S. Melvey all gave their approval for her to marry Richard E. Siders. The groom was 48. The Siders marriage is an extreme example of what is fairly common occurrence in Ohio. Go figure. Underage teenager getting married. A Dayton Daily News investigation found 4,443 girls ages 17 or younger were married in Ohio between 2000 and 2015, including 59 who were 15 and younger. 3, including Wrights, were 14. State records show advocates for stricter marriage laws say Ohio's laws are too lenient, setting girls in the failure of even exploitation. Ohio laws require brides to be at least 16 and grooms to be at least 18, but exceptions are made in younger pregnant teens if they have potential consent and juvenile court approval. So if they're that young being pregnant, I mean, you would think that it would have to be statutory, grape, you would think. I didn't even know this about Ohio was this bad, to be honest, guys. That's it. I'm moving tomorrow. We're moving. That effectively means
you're coming this way?
No. Medley, who is now retired, said in a telephone interview that he barely recalls approving the Siders' marriage. And I'm sure you do. I'm sure he does because he knows it's just not right. That was 15 years ago. I vaguely remember there was one that was underage. He said, I do remember one where somebody was really young, although Medley says Sexual contact with a minor should have resulted in an investigation, of course. That's what I just said, into possible criminal charges against Richard Siders. He doesn't believe prosecution or Children's Protective Services got involved in the case. Montgomery County Juvenile Court Judge Anthony Capizzi also said law enforcement should have been altered. To me, the question is there is great in the situation, said Capizzi, who is president of the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges. I can't imagine a 14-year-old girl marrying a 40-plus-year-old man and that being a valid marriage, not being forced upon the child. And there's a lot more, but I'm going to go ahead and if you guys want it, Oleg has this. There's just so much, but it's so true. I mean, I never realized Ohio was that like I knew that 16 with the consent of a parent, you could go ahead and be emancipated and you could basically be considered an adult. Very rarely happens, but it does happen. But apparently in Ohio, it happens all the time, where underage kids will get consent and by their parents, and then they'll end up marrying somebody who's 40, 50 years old. I just don't see that right. I mean, they definitely have to take a look at that law, everybody. That's ridiculous. And then, of course, Oleg puts a 40-year-old man died September 2025. It's just sickening, in all honesty, in my opinion. It's just sickening. Even door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesmen cross the street block away with railroad tracks with blinders in their phones. April, Didi will have to appoint a manager mod that can unblock mistakes. April, would you like that job, April? I couldn't see anybody better than you. Didi will appoint a manager mod that can unblock mistakes made by blocking someone or do it himself. Let me check. Well, I'm not sure I can. Do I have to go in my own? Let me see if I can go in my own.
Yeah, you got to go to your own channel and then just click on whichever mod you want to make manager.
Okay, hang on a second.
You're welcome.
Give me 1 second, everybody. So go there. Okay, I am in here.
Your personal phone number and address are likely being sold online right now, and it's completely legal. Well, I ran a quick privacy scan on this app called Umail to see exactly how much of my data is floating around out there, and the results were actually terrifying.
So I did this. Now it says remove as managing moderator.
So who's the managing moderator?
It looks like, yeah, I think I have already April as a managing moderator.
Okay.
April, aren't you a managing moderator already? No, I just took you off. I'm going to put you right back on. Hang on.
You're fired. Oh, never mind. You're hired.
Oh, my Lord. What the hell?
You're fired. Oh, never mind.
So freaking crazy. Hang on, April. April, you are a managing moderator.
Stop managing.
Managing moderator. You are. Okay. Yes, you are a managing moderator. Okay. Yes, you are a managing moderator. Okay, everybody, there you go. You got it. You got it, April. Casey, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. PLC, we'll fix that. And Chaos, yeah, we don't block unless it's a troll or somebody, or unless somebody crosses the line. But that's not how we roll here. So I do apologize about that if something like that happened. Casey, 3 words I'll never say. I'm speechless. Jim, good morning. Fabio, Debbie, hi, Jim. They called you again, Fabio, Chris. Barney, dog, if you need to make more than one admin mod, I will do it too. You got it, Barney. You got it. Pretty little clues. You're good. Shit happens. Yeah, that's not how we do things here, everybody. I'm back. Fabio's here. Man, God, I never knew Fabio was that really well known. I thought, he was always a clown. Not Chris, Fabio. Ugh. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Hang on, everybody. Hang on.
Okay.
All right. Let's go. Melly, yay, he hangs out here.
Where we going?
AJ, Chaos was blocked for being rude and disrespectful. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm ready to be unmod if people can come here and do what they want without accountability. You're fine, AJ. Yeah, you're fine. I have no idea what was going on. Norma, good morning, AJ. Norma, Jim, Melly, good morning. You find get in user block list on YouTube as managing moderator. Open YouTube Studio, click settings and select community. Done. Ole, Cat, L, hidden user box. All right, moving right along, everybody. Moving right along. So, yeah. So the next thing was the fact that we want to talk about, that I wanted to go ahead and bring up, was the fact of literally we did the comp evaluation. So here was something that I found interesting. So on the case of the Karolkiewicz, the ones from New Haven. No, you're good, Jolene. You're fine. You guys are fine. So the Karolkiewicz from New Haven, Michigan, the husband that unalived the kids, the whole family, set the house on fire. So the wife had come out before, and she had opened up about her shifting family dynamics in 2024. This was put out on Reddit. I don't know if it's verified, so I'm just letting you all know because I don't really go with anything on Reddit. But this was apparently released on Reddit's thread before her husband, Christopher Karolkiewicz, unalived all of them. But she said, okay, I'm going to get to the main crux. So apparently she didn't want to have any more kids after they had their third, and then they adopted 2, and then they had one more, a son, I believe, that gave them 4 biological kids. Now, she said that she did not want to have any more kids because that would mean that her husband would be in his 60s when the last kid was, graduating. Which kind of makes sense. So she said, I'm trying to find it here. She shared a post that she met Christopher while she was interning at a company he worked at. Okay, listen closely, everybody. She met her husband. This is Mandy, the wife, okay, of Christopher, who unalived everyone. She put down, she also shared the post that she met Christopher while she was interning at the company he worked at. He was divorced at the time. So her husband was divorced at the time. Okay. He was divorced and older than me. That's where she met her husband. Fast forward 10 years and 5 kids later, he was cheating with an intern again, the same age I was when I was the intern, she wrote. So I don't know if this is, honestly, I don't know if this is valid because it was on Reddit. I didn't go looking at it at Reddit. I just went ahead and I didn't even go to Reddit. I don't look at stuff in there. But I actually just typed this out and found this. And actually, this was actually posted on. Okay, so let me go on. So then USA Today says that Mandy admitted that she had shoved Christopher after she learned about the affair, saying, and this was on USA Today, saying she had a fight or flight mentality. I don't feel bad still. He towers over me and destroyed me mentally, she wrote of the incident. It felt like I was being assaulted and needed to fight back. While Mandy didn't say exactly when Christopher's affair happened, she said it took place while she was overwhelmed with raising their children. So I'm not saying that had anything to do with the unaliving. Understand that, everybody. I'm just saying that obviously there was some issues there. And I mean, I don't know how anybody could feel if he was divorced and met her while she was interning, and then, 10 years later, he's met another intern and has, an affair with her at the same age as she was. I mean, definitely there's a problem, in my opinion. So that was just some of the news that I found out. I know someone said something a while back, and I think it was Holly, that said something about this. But like I said, I didn't get it from Reddit. I just Googled it. It came up. So I thought I'd go ahead and bring that up. Just another little thing. Good morning, Photon, says Holly. What do you all think? What's your all's opinion, everybody? What is your all's opinion? Tell me. I want to hear it. Al, thank you for supporting the channel. Appreciate you, Al. Thank you so much for always being there for the channel. Any comments? Chris, you there? Any comments? Any comments? Anybody on that? Any comments at all? Morning, Holly. Jolene, I think he wanted this cake and eat it too. I agree with you, Jolene. I totally agree with you. Holly, good morning, Melly. I agree wholeheartedly. Anybody else with any comments on that? I'm hearing crickets.
I'm eating breakfast.
You're always eating.
It's breakfast time.
You're always eating is what I'm saying. Holly.
All right. Whatever you say. I'm eating again and again. I can't help it. I'm hungry. Don't deprive me of food.
No, not you.
That'll put you on my bad side.
Oh, geez. Oh,
Don't be doing that.
This marine is shaking. I better stop it.
Where's your wife? Where's your wife to put you in your place?
Okay. Okay. All right. Chris, can you take over the channel for a minute?
All right.
That's one way to get you to stop eating.
What did I tell you? Don't deprive me of food. No,
Hear you.
I can do that for you.
I would appreciate it.
I'll send the bill in the mail, or I'll email you the bill.
Ay.
I'm not harassing Dee Dee. Jesus, see, you've turned everybody against me, Dee Dee.
Oh, my Lord.
That's it. That is it. Now it's going to be this. What's your cat's name again? I forget.
He's quiet. That's all that we want to keep.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Get on the table, cat. Go get on the table. That'll get you. So what's everybody doing in the chat? Not everyone. What? What are you saying, Marion? Did I miss something? Ooh, pancakes. Pancakes. I had those for dinner last night. I was going to send you a picture, Dee Dee, but I didn't because I made this massive pancake that could feed like 10 people on my griddle.
Uh-huh.
It was so cool. So everybody tell me, what are we doing today? What's everybody got going on today? What's the plans? Thanks, Jim. KB, see you later. Thanks for stopping by. Pretty little clues. I'm not harassing them yet. That's just the love that we share. It goes back and forth, you know?
He's always harassing me, Pretty Little Clues. Always harassing me.
Well, like I said the other day a couple of times, wait till after the show when he calls me and says, hey, goddamn, for like an hour. I just put the phone up next to my head and he just yells away, you know? So it's good. KB, thank you. Take care. Have a good day. Bandit is with me in Arizona, Miss Bonnie says. Don't say that. Don't threaten dog with a good day.
No, if it was up to me, you could have him. I would be nice. I will be nice.
Dee Dee's like, you can go. See you. There's the door, buddy.
Absolutely. Chris is just like a little brother.
Have you met Dee Dee? This is my grand uncle.
Oh, my Lord.
Good. Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that? You guys find that interesting that maybe they were having problems and no one knew? Could that have been why he would have done something so stupid like that? Why not, you know?
Is this the Detroit thing? I stepped away from it. Is it?
Yeah, the Detroit thing.
I mean,
she had posted that basically that he had an affair with an intern at the same age that he had met her when he was divorced. And,
well, I mean, I guess the only thing that could come up with that with me is that she, you know, obviously.
Yeah, it's Pretty Little Clues.
You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe she threatened divorce and lawsuits and, you know, I'm taking the kids and we're leaving. And I mean, you know, everybody knows how that plays down the line, you know, and he was like, no, that's not going to happen. And he lost it. But
well, he's also the one that lost his job. I wonder if that had something to do with why he lost his job.
He probably lost his job if he had an affair with that lady and they found out. Maybe the wife called the business, you know, the company and said, hey, my husband's sleeping with your so-and-so. And maybe he was mad because she got him fired, you know, something like that on those lines. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to dig into that case a little more, see what I can dig out.
I mean, right now there's not a whole lot.
No, it's time to sleuth.
I totally
Abuse too, yeah, pretty little clues. Definitely a thought.
Ole, we had 21 jobs. Looks like he couldn't hold a job down for long. No, that could have. I mean, she wouldn't have known when she got with him, but thank God, like after their fifth kid, she really didn't want anymore, and then they had one more. They adopted the last two from China.
Yeah,
You know,
I did see that.
yeah, and she left her job and just became kind of like, like most people with that job became a mom taking care of the family, the nucleus of that family. And, it's kind of horrible to see that a mom would give up what she wants to do to take and raise their family. And then this happens to her. You know what I mean? That's just, that's just wrong, man. All the ways around it.
It is very.
Yeah, I think the husband had a pretty good job. If I'm not mistaken, Jolene, I think the husband had a really good job until he didn't. And this he lost his job 2 weeks before he did this. So it very well could have been, like Chris said, that she called the company to let them know what was going on. And they said, you got to go. You're done.
You're out of here. See you later. Because I know these companies and stuff, they won't deal with that stuff anymore because it's way too expensive for them. They want you gone immediately. See you later. Bye. Have a good day. I'm having way too many problems here. We love you, Ellie. No, stay on me for long. Dropping me off at the nearest curb. Miss Bonnie, you kill me, Miss Bonnie. What are you reading now?
What I'm reading is trying to figure out what's going on. What about the Nolan case? Where are we at on that, everybody?
I did see. Did I see something? Did I see something new this morning? Let me look here. I thought I saw something new. Hold on. I mean, I think this is from yesterday, maybe. Okay. Nolan Wells' friend turned over names of witnesses to investigators. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Put it up on there.
Yes, boss. On it. Let me see. Hold this. It's by. This is. Does anybody have the phone number for workplace? What's the word?
Environment.
Yeah, it's just I can't work under these conditions. This is unacceptable. Let's see. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't think it's a video though. I think it's just. Well, maybe it is. No. Yeah. No. It's not. It's just that TMZ video is the same thing, but it looks like. Look at Nolan Wells' friend turned over names of witnesses to investigators. And who do they show as his friend all of a sudden?
Right.
Who is this?
That's what's his name?
That's Bart.
Yeah.
The boyfriend of Katie that nobody knew when they got to the island.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
But he got so big when Doug was talking about it, man. That kid had ballooned big time.
Yeah, because now people are putting together that the first conversations with people like, yeah, we didn't know Katie. We don't know Katie. Nobody knew Katie. He just met her on the island. And then, you know, again, like we had said yesterday, then comes the questioning of, you know, Warren and them. And they were like, you know, Warren was like, yeah, we texted Katie, or I texted Katie. And then everybody started texting Katie. Well, and that's when I said, wait a minute, you guys didn't know her. How would you and now Nolan and Bart are friends. Just out of the blue.
And we never heard of him before.
Nope.
But they're like two peas in a pot.
The Edmonstons say Bart sat for interviews, answered every question, and shared his full recollection of the July 4th. They also say he also let investigators view his phone, provided requested photos and videos, and allowed inspections of his boat and GPS device, all without an attorney, warrants, or hesitation. Was that smart? No. His family adds that Bart compiled a witness list, including passengers aboard his boat. They believe more than 20 people spread across two vessels saw him help another boat that was taking on water near Horn Island.
Right.
According to the statement, Bart boarded the distressed vessel, removed its transom plug, and briefly towed it so the accumulated water could drain. The family insists Bart has never been identified as a suspect and flatly denies he killed Nolan. Witnesses witnessed his death or helped cover it up. The family says Bart has been doxxed, with one online user allegedly posting photos of their home, their address, land records, and employment information. They say a cease and desist and evidence preservation letter is being sent to that person. The Edmonstons say they are also working with the FBI, Mississippi Attorney General, U.S. Attorney's Office, and local authorities to determine whether cyber stalking laws were broken and address threats against Bart's life. Yeah. See, you know, now it's like a whole nother situation, a whole nother story now. Here's Bart that we didn't know about. And he put forward everything. Yeah, look at my phone, look at this, go check this, without an attorney or any warrants or anything.
Interesting.
Very, very, very interesting. And he listed a list of witnesses. Witnesses of what? What happened?
Well, was he the one towing?
Yep. He towed them. So when that picture I showed you the other day of them on the boat, and you saw the kid standing up front and he had the rope in his hand.
Right.
That was them either retrieving the rope from him or giving him the rope. But then he went on the boat and he took out the plug and then towed them so the water would drain out, because as you're going, the water won't come in. It'll go out. So that's why they didn't end up needing the tow. When he pulled them as far as he did, all the water drained out. They put the plug back in, and they were good for a little bit. And then they went to wherever they went to, the dock, or whichever dock first, right? Because if you got that boat going fast enough, the water isn't coming in like crazy. As long as you got it out and then plugged it and then took off, whatever, and you're always going to get water in your boat, right? That's why you have the bilge pump.
Right.
So the bilge pump stops working. It's not spitting that water out. So as long as they get it out and then they just hustle back in, you're going to be good because the water's not coming in like it was. So again, I don't know. So he played football too.
Right.
And
he's a punter.
Yeah. Did he play for the same place Nolan did?
Well, I think he did, and then he then ended up transferring to, I think they said, Wyoming or something.
So
he ended up transferring to another college, and then that's really where he got his name. Wyoming's had a pretty good football team the last few years, and apparently he's now one of the top prospects look for in the NFL for a punter.
Yeah. So, and here we, just like all the others, here we are again, sitting on the first day. What the hell happened?
Right.
Because now, if this kid was, remember they were in the phone call. That was Bart on the phone.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, that was him that made the call. So what I'd really like to know is he got on the boat to help them. What did you see on the boat?
Right.
They're not going to let him talk, about the case itself, They're not going to allow whatever he says to them. What did you see when you got on the boat? They're not going to let us know that yet.
Right.
So this is the one kid right here. Now, this is the man who can tell us, was Nolan on that boat? Or was he not on that boat? He'll be able to blow this wide open if we can find out that question.
Well, what if he decides to plead the fifth?
He may.
Because he doesn't want to put out his friends,
No, I know, but I mean, that's a tough decision to make right there, because look, you plead the fifth, something, right? So that's telling us that something, and you're not willing to tell the truth of this or that. And, I think they're really geared at looking at his NFL chances. What helps him out the most? What does he do from here on out that helps him stay an NFL prospect? Plead the fifth? Back out? Or tell the truth? Or, what? I don't know. I don't know. I would never want to be in that predicament. But now it's just, everything's a different lane. And every one of these damn cases that we are covering right now there's so Nolan and Elena and Nancy, they're the tree, of course. And then all these other people are just branches. And those branches are just all going in different directions, just like a tree. No, that's why I used it anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing's connecting anywhere.
How old is he, Chris? Do you know?
I don't know, but let's see. I can probably find out shortly. Give me 1 second. Sorry. How did I get in here? Whoopsie. Not what I want.
I thought he was 19.
Oh, he's probably that age, but so they're different. So let's see. He's got to be right around the same age. Give me a second. I'm just having trouble. He's got to be the same age as them, 18, 19, 17, 18, 19. So give me 1 second. What the hell, dude?
That wasn't Bart.
No, I'm just I found these other. So the people that must have doxed him is OnlyFans model, legal threat. OnlyFans model, legal threat. That's the one that probably doxed him, you know. I gotta get up here. Hold on a second. Too many damn screens, my man. All right. So stop. Really? Goddamn kids. I have a kid for sale if anybody wants it. Here we go. So, but that does not look like him. Really? Early background. Jesus Christ, that's out. Hold on, let me show you this. All right, remember the. What the hell now? Hold on. Remember this face right here. See this face right here? Remember Bart's face, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, you can throw that up.
Okay.
Does that look like? Does it look like him?
Yep.
All right, cool. So he's in college. So let's see, Wyoming special teams. He did before joining us in Ocean Springs High School. So they went to the same high school. Ocean Springs, right?
I think so. I think that's how they know the Katie girl.
Football is an important part of Edmonston's family. His father, Bart Edmonston Sr., was a special place. Why can't I find the dates? University of Wyoming. Personal life and family.
Click that like, everybody. Click that like. Share the live to your other streamers and your other friends. Click the hearts.
They didn't give his accurate date of birth. His full date of birth has not been disclosed. I'll have to look. Yeah, he's definitely around there. He's an athlete. And the earning potential available to college football players by Edmonston estimated net worth is between $100,000 and $300,000. You know he's making money. So, but yeah, no, it didn't. His exact age has not been publicly confirmed because his birth year has not been officially disclosed. He celebrates his birthday on November 18th.
Well, they said he was there for a week during that week.
Yep. So, yeah, again, I don't know his exact date, but I can find it out later. But yeah, this just throws a whole nother bunch of stew into the pot.
They could, Marianne. They could do that if they wanted to.
Hey,
I'm
there
not
it is.
sure that they would do that without any anyone being charged, because you're innocent until proven guilty. So I don't think that they would go ahead and do that, to be honest. But it's possible. It really is possible. But I just don't see it happening. Melly, Devil Pubs, please hit the likes and subscribe. Let's get it, everybody.
No, they're college acts the same way as the NFL. If you have a person that's in a little bit of trouble, they really don't do anything until like you're charged with something, right. And then you would see him not on the football team. But until then, who knows? And they're not back in school yet either, anyways, I don't think yet.
We're almost getting there. I think they got another probably 15 days.
I know. Preseason football next week.
Oh, is it next week, preseason?
I think it's next week. Yeah, one day next week somewhere.
Well, like the students here from where we're at, they don't get there till they don't start till I think like the 14th or the 17th of August.
Yeah, us here, our colleges go back. Well, some go a little bit different, but most of them go back September 1st. I don't know. This is taking a strange turn here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. Oh, it's a weird case. I don't know who. Rapidly escalating community demanding answers. A young man's death that remains surrounded by confusion, suspicion, and online hostility. What I don't get is why are people receiving death threats? I mean, is it just a crazy lunatic on the internet? Probably, but why would you send them death threats? What is, you know what I mean? Like, what would be your reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
like the parents, especially the kids. The kids I can understand because you were there. You were on the boat. You were on the island. You were in the water, whatever. You were there. You can't tell us nobody saw something. I could understand them saying stuff to the kids who they may think had something to do with it. But his parents? Why you death threat to them? Doesn't make sense to me. I heard somewhere that they were saying about Arizona had like 15s or something like that. Jolene, what do you mean? I may have missed something. Oh, I got you. All I had to do is read back. So you're good.
All I could find out is they said school starts in Arizona in early August.
Mm-hmm.
Many other Metro Phoenix and regional districts, such as Dysart Unified, bring students back to class during the first week of August 6th.
Yeah. Looks like Deb Briggs found out that he's 21.
21?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would make sense because Nolan's 19, and I thought they said that this kid was in a higher grade than Nolan. that's why he had played in college for
Yep.
his first 2 years, and then he did a transfer to Wyoming. Because it was a bigger college, and it was more potential for him to be picked in the NFL.
I wonder. I'm gonna try to find out what boat Bart has, because he has his own boat. I want to see if I can find out the name of that, because I'd like to know, which boat he was on, and then look to see if I can see any pictures with his boat in it.
Right.
But I don't. To me, things now start to point back towards not as a suspect in the death yet, but Warren with the story of we didn't know her, blah 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 blah, and then he openly forgot to say, about the texts. Wait a minute, So now I'm like, okay, well, he's lying. And he's the only one that mentioned anything about texting her, or we were all started texting her.
Right.
So you just lied. Why? Now, if I was Tatum, I would call his ass back and be like, wait a minute, tell me something.
Well, he just put out a video too, Tatum.
About
basically about the mom filing, and she hasn't filed civil lawsuit. She's filed a petition to possibly do a civil lawsuit
after the case.
Yeah. So
you know what?
Wow.
If it comes down to whoever. If it comes to be found out that it's not an accident and that it was definitely a homicide of some sort, then file it.
Yeah, I could see it. I think it's a good idea, in honesty. In all honesty, I think it's a good idea because she could use that as some leverage to get them to talk.
Yeah. Definitely. But the problem that I see too is that you have Mr. Crump as your attorney for now,
right?
But he can't help you out in court. He's not he's not a defense lawyer for criminal. Nope. So now you have to find somebody else, or does he have somebody else that's involved with, maybe his team?
I think he does. I think he has somebody that he has handled that type of situation.
And the only thing I have to ask is when you got Crump on board, what did he do to help you in any way up to now? Besides just being your voice, I don't see what he did. I don't think he did anything. I just think he did a lot of blah 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 blah. I mean, the right stuff to say, but that's all he did. I don't think he helped them out in any way. Do you? Am I missing? No, the lawyer Crump. What did he do for her right now?
It was just name recognition.
Yeah, I mean, and. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, wow, with this whole bot thing. I am really now just kind of like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? This is the one kid that comes out and says everything. Like, hey, go look at my boat, go look at my phone. Here's this, there's the GPS, go get everything. Do whatever it is you got to do. No problems.
Well, they're definitely screaming on the boat, yelling on the boat.
And it's not. And remember, it's not Bart's boat.
Right.
That
belongs to Wyatt.
Yeah.
So they're barking out Nolan's name. You hear what they're saying in the background. It's pretty damn clear. Is he dead? Yes. Oh my God. Check his chest. Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious to know he was on the boat. So if Bart's not there, who becomes the number one person of interest? And
unfortunately,
who's been in the front of all this?
Warren.
That's it.
But the problem is anybody on that boat is now in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, you got 6 people on your boat. But Bart just said they had 20 people between 2 boats in his statement. So that would mean you got 10 people apiece on your boat. I didn't see 10 people. But again, that picture might not be accurate, but it sure the hell looks like it. The video of them on the boat handing somebody the rope or taking the rope back. So there's still questions about what he put out there too. And I'm sure him coming out like this is at a lawyer's, advice. Hey, you got nothing to hide. So here you go. Go through my boat. Here's my phone. Look at the GPS. Do whatever the hell you want to do. I would like to know where his GPS takes him after he stops with helping them. Does he go back to Horn Island? Does he go back home? Does he go somewhere? Does he follow them in to make sure everything else is okay? I want to see his GPS. Because that would kind of tell a lot, too. I mean, if he went back to the island, and he didn't tow them far. It doesn't seem like he towed them too far. I think he just towed them far enough to get the water out and then plug it, and then you guys go do your thing. And that's why they didn't need the tow. But did he go back to that island? I mean, if he went back to the island, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I mean, if he goes back to that island and continues his day, or does he return home, or does he follow them in? I got to know that now. That's what I'm... And maybe they'll release it at some point. I would hope, because now I want to just know,
Right.
And I don't know if you can go back, and I have to check because, like, I have a program on my computer that I can track. Did I say track?
Make sure I have it to get through.
Rock the boats. I can track ships and stuff in the sea.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know if you can track individual boats like that. I'm sure there's a program that you can. But yeah. And I don't know if you can go back in the future. I mean, yeah, in the future. I better go back to sleep. In the past. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to go back to July 4th and, find those boats and do all that. I mean, I could look later, but yeah, I need to know his GPS coordinates, where he ended, and then, kind of put it together. What do you think? What do you feel about this Bart guy now?
I don't.
He's an adult, right?
Yeah.
Now he's an adult, 21.
I don't think that he. I don't. Only because we haven't heard his name in the past, and never knew anything about this individual. I have to believe, like, I don't know. In my opinion, he's not a part of this. He's not a part of this.
So messed up. Yeah, no, I mean,
I think this goes right back to the very beginning. And the beginning was the narrative. Nolan told me he was going back on the boat, and I seen him get on the boat. Only to later say, through her sister, Katie, said that Nolan was walking towards the boat, and she believed he was going to get on.
Right.
And the other guys were saying, no, Nolan was going to stay with her. Well, we know that didn't happen because she never said nothing.
Right.
And so someone of them is not telling the truth. And even now you're hearing her still say the same thing.
Right.
So, I could see literally that. I mean, it's so hard to really say because then they go, well, yes, because you already made your mind up or this and that. But I could see how that he one of them is not telling the truth. Now, who has to gain here? Okay, what does Katie have to gain by lying?
Nothing.
It's the whole. That's the whole.
This kid
line.
does though. Bart does.
What does the other kid have to gain by lying?
Bart or Warren?
Warren.
I don't know. He doesn't have anything to gain, does he?
He's got
his life.
He's got the idea that she is saying he went to his boat.
Right.
So he's got a lot to gain, and if it is proven that he was on his boat, then how did he end up in the water?
Right.
So there's a lot at stake on him because he's the one that actually became the mouthpiece of this case for those young adults that were on the boat.
Right. I am having such a problem.
And he chose that. No one made him choose that. He chose that.
Right.
So they said Nolan Wells' conference is at 12.
What?
Carolina Girl says Nolan Wells' press conference is at 12.
Oh, they have a press conference?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I am a complete fool.
You're right about that, Deb. They all seem spoiled.
Thank God.
Barney DoorDashing them now. Yeah, it's just crazy.
It just doesn't end with none of it.
Well, because there's so many lies and so many cover-ups and deceits that you have to go through all that garbage and try to figure out what is legit and what's not. And it just takes time, man. It takes time to validate and prove all your points.
And obviously we know what's at stake. Somebody's freedom.
Yep.
Or life in prison. Or hey, I look at it this way: it could be a few people, because if somebody on the boat was the cause of the death, they're in trouble, but the other people on the boat are still in trouble.
Yep.
For not saying anything. You might, you're not going to face the same amount of time, but I don't think they would. You think they would get time if they didn't tell the truth? Probably not.
Probably little, just a little, if they didn't tell the truth, because they'd be
accessory to.
Well, they would be an accessory. They would actually be. You would consider them to be. I'm trying to think of what the hell that word is when they're interfering with the case.
Yeah, but I guess if me and you were on a boat and we unalived Elmo,
mm-hmm.
or I unalived Elmo, even though I love Elmo more than it, and you watched it and you witnessed it and you seen it and did nothing to stop it, doesn't that make you an accessory?
Yes.
So let's just run with the 6 people on the boat,
okay,
right? And let's just say, I'm the 6th person on that boat, and I unalived, NW, and everybody saw it and did nothing about it. That makes them all accessories, right?
Right.
So an accessory. What, is that the right word? Am I saying right? Accessory? No.
Accessory. That's accessory. You're trying to say accessory.
What do you get tried? What do they get tried with? I mean, not what they get tried with, but well, yeah. I mean, if you're an accessory to murder,
accessory just means you were a part of it, even if you didn't do something with it.
Right. So, do you still get tried with like manslaughter or no?
No,
Because you didn't do it. You just was there.
You were
Okay.
just there. Wrong place, wrong time.
And that's the problem here too. I think it's like, again, I'm sorry you guys were on the boat. You might not have agreed with it. It doesn't seem like anybody tried to. If something happened like that on the boat, doesn't look like any of them tried to stop it. If something happened, right? So, you kind of feel bad for, like, I think I said it yesterday or the day before, whatever, that, the girl that was on the boat, oh my God, what are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get in trouble for doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why wouldn't you speak out? Why wouldn't you be like, look I didn't have nothing to do with it. I was on the boat, but I didn't do it. I don't want to be charged with all this crap. I'd be singing like a bird. Like, if this was an issue between Nolan and, somebody else on the boat, hey, that's you guys. I don't want nothing to do with that. Not when it comes down to the unaliving. Sorry. I'm not getting all that kind of trouble for that. No, sorry. Yes, justice for Elmo, L, definitely. So yeah, I mean, there's just so many different things going on here, and there's no doubt in my mind they're all sitting at home like, oh damn, something go. You know what I mean? They're freaking out.
Right.
If it was, I mean, again, even if it was an accident, nobody's saying anything. You're not telling the truth. So then, yeah, if it's an accident and you guys aren't saying nothing, then yeah, you deserve everything you get. But if it's, two people went at it, and unfortunately one person did something to the other person and caused the unaliving, and you guys weren't involved, but yet you still didn't say anything, you're still getting in trouble. So it's like you can't really, you can't make any excuses for them. You know what I'm saying? Except if you're their parents, because you don't want to see your kid go to jail. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm waiting to see what they're going to talk about on this press conference.
What time is that at? 12?
12 in about 10 minutes.
We're going to hang out for it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think like Barney just said in the chat too, didn't speak up, then you should be held guilty. But I think everywhere should have a law like New York City does. That would save so much crap from going on. Like if you're going down the street and you see a mugging or you see a robbery of a liquor store and the guy's running, call 911. Yeah, the guy's running this way.
Yep.
That's all. But I mean, yeah, and I know people don't want to be involved. That's the big problem. You report a crime, you're a witness. Now you're going to end your ass up in court because you're a witness. That's why people don't call. They don't want to be involved with anything. And I understand that. You got to go to court. You got to see this. You got to do this. You got to go in and write reports, and they got to interview you. Nobody wants to do that. But, I don't know. It's just do your thing. It's just like going to jury, dude.
Right.
And I've never been picked for jury duty. I've been like 5 times, and every time they look at my record, they're like, oh, no, you can go. I'm like, see ya. Thanks for coming. You ever been picked for a jury?
No, because I haven't. And a lot of times I was working either out of state or I was working in law enforcement. So,
oh yeah, yeah.
that wasn't going to happen.
No, yeah, no. I always wanted to get on one, but they always like, sorry, you got to go.
If I was going to get on one, it would have been a good one.
That's what I'm saying. I was always sitting there going, watch, I'm going to be the one that gets picked for this jury. It's going to be like a month long. I'm going to be in a room for, 4 weeks straight, eating subs and McDonald's all day, But no, I never got chosen. One of the cases I was sitting waiting to get picked for was a manslaughter case. It was, but whatever. There's always next time. I ain't been called for a minute. I wonder where this news conference is going to be.
Well, they said, I was looking at where, and they said it's going to be at breaking news, family lawyers, press conference, the Max Vault. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say.
Yeah, we'll find it. We shall find it. We had a bald eagle here in my city the other day.
Oh yeah,
but you don't see them much around here.
Okay.
But yeah, he was sitting on one of the church's roofs. It was pretty cool to see. Things are massive, man. Have you ever seen one?
I've seen eagle, yeah, in here in Ohio, but yeah,
they're huge.
They're very huge.
It doesn't on TV and pictures and stuff doesn't until you see it take off, and it was like, woohoo! It was like 7-8 feet of wingspan. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, no doubt. I
mean, I got like 346,000 million hawks in my backyard. That's all you hear all day is them squealing away. Those are tiny.
Marianne says somebody named Kimberly James on Facebook has posts about them or about Bart.
Kimberly James?
Kimberly on Facebook. James. Kimberly on James.
Got you.
On Facebook has posts about Bart. 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, I got to try to see where I can find that. I don't know which one. I
think there's a couple.
I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Miss Bonnie, great, Chris. Now I'm hiding all of my Elmo collection. Nice. Too funny. All right, I need.
Let's see here. I've got to say it on this one.
Where'd you find it?
Just went to YouTube.
For the press conference?
Yep.
Okay.
Just went to YouTube and then put it on my queue.
I gotta try to find the news channels down in that area.
True.
Well, because I have them I have a little device over here that I can program all the news conferences into this little, well, not news conference, but all the little. So when I just click one of these buttons, it goes right to that app or that website. So that's what I'm saying.
I just want to hear what you.
Oh, don't even start with that. Oh, is that the investigation update? Yeah, curious to see what they say.
Mm-hmm. Let me grab a bag of cookies. Hang up.
Get me one.
Hello, dear.
Hi. Oh, he was talking. He was talking to his wife. I mean, how's everybody doing today? $50,000 reward announced. Dr. Benjamin Hudson, father of Wells' friend Warren Hudson, offered $50,000 for information leading to an arrest and conviction in connection with Wells' death. He emphasized his family is not accusing anyone specific and is defending the group of teens with Wells on Horn Island that day. That's nice. It's nice of him.
They're going to have a press conference on YouTube on that Noah Wells.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just letting you know.
You should bring her on live with us one day.
Huh?
You should bring the wife on live with us one day. You tell her, come and pull up a seat, dear.
She's not like, she just doesn't feel comfortable right now.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, you have her working hard. Get me cookies, get me milk, get me pancakes, get me this, get me coffee, so she really can't sit. There you go. Oatmeal, my favorite cookie. Oatmeal raisin is my favorite. Come on.
I think my wife likes that too.
I love oatmeal raisin, man. Oh my God.
I don't care for the raisin.
Well, you know what? More for me then. It works for me.
I think that's the same way that happened with the Exciter kids. Everybody, the Cider kids. Everybody seems kids. No one wanted to speak up. No one wanted to help until now, and everybody wants to help. Sorry, change subject. You're good. You are good.
Peanut butter cookies with Hershey Kisses. Yeah, I could like those too. I could definitely like those too. But I love oatmeal raisin. Oh my God. So good. Well, I can see what's in my future. Something in my eye. Man. I think I'm feeling some ribeye steaks tonight. What do you think? The ribeye or T-bones?
If I am, I'm only taking my wife.
Yeah, well, don't forget, pal. Where you go, I go. So you better swing through here first. I don't know what you're thinking. Oh boy.
All right.
Fire it up. 12 o'clock. Fire it up.
No, heaven is not. Give me one. At least they're giving.
I answered the call to serve my country. And when veterans needed someone to step up for us, Senator John Huston did. Houston is expanding healthcare access, helping ensure veterans receive the care they need, no matter where they live. And Houston
I think I'll take my wife to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, I'm definitely going then. Tell them it's my birthday. I'll sit on the cowboy seat and sing happy birthday to me. You know what my favorite part of that is? Eating the peanuts while you wait and then just throwing them on the ground.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Love it. See, it's a good thing I said something. Now you're taking the wife out. You're welcome.
Now they moved the middle one. I'm sorry, it's just we're all.
Jesus.
I like their rolls. I just don't like that cinnamon butter.
Now has the glare again.
No, I don't like the cinnamon butter. Their rolls are phenomenal too.
Yeah,
Earlier,
very much so.
the middle one, angle it a bit more towards the aisle here, maybe.
I have gone there for dinner and ordered just rolls.
Have you really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Good. They're good.
What the hell, dude?
All right, yeah, that's right. That's
You're right about that, Barney. I already noticed it. Marianne says, I'm making stuffed peppers.
Ooh. No, you got me. I'm Italian, so I'm on my way. So, will they be ready for lunch? And then I can make it to you for dinner? I'm golden, man. I'm golden.
Carol said, I'm making pork and sauerkraut with kielbasa, mashed potatoes, and corn for dinner.
Well, that'll be a late night snack. So then I'll head your way after steak. Oh, I'm in. Let's see. Today.
Well said, Deb. Bless the family. This is so sad. No doubt. No doubt.
Got it. Oh.
Photon says, Carol, my daughter, been wanting kielbasa with green peppers and onions. Wow, that sounds good.
Oh, yeah. We have a bit of kielbasa once in a while. I'm wondering who the criminal lawyer is.
They said his name.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's a white guy. I can't think of his name.
He's got to be top
What
notch.
do you think? What do you guys think is about to happen here? Because I'm seeing more than one picture.
What does that mean?
What do you say?
What do you guys think? I'm now seeing more than one picture.
The other pictures, and
I'm only seeing one.
so I don't know.
What? There's three.
I don't think this is going to be what I anticipated. Let me see that one picture. That picture all the way to the left. That was the kid that was found in the gym match.
I just hope this is not
That case was never
a
solved.
pride.
Oh, wait a minute. These aren't Nolan Wells, all Nolan Wells.
I believe
That's what I'm
him.
saying.
No, there's two different murders. Three.
Oh, wow.
Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Interesting. Very interesting. Is that Ben Crump too?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Huh. Now I don't have an idea what this is going to be about.
It's going to be a rallying cry, probably.
Yep.
Is my guess. I don't know.
He's going to rally them up.
Yep. Barney said, I am German and English Welsh.
Oh, wow. That's a good mix. That is probably number 2 on my places to visit. I am like dying to go to Germany for some reason.
Yeah.
Don't yeah me.
Not so fast.
Yeah, I want to go to Germany.
Sounds good, Al.
All right, still no action yet. Just waiting for somebody to come to the podium.
What's Crump going to do? Is Crump going to just go one and then jump to the next one and then
I don't
jump
know
to the
what they're
next
going
one?
to say here, though. Like,
They must be doing something
that's not
good.
Kendrick. That's a different person. Okay, thank you. I didn't have my glasses on.
You might want to put them on then.
All right, just waiting. You hate when they highlight cases when it's someone who is white on black. The media does that too. It's a media thing. I could even go into why they do that, but
Stop it.
that's how they do it, Miguel. They've been doing this, since I was a kid. But I'm just curious to see what's going to be said here. I mean, I know I see the other cases, but how is this all related? I don't know.
I wish I could see the other names.
The other cases he's representing, maybe.
I can't make them out.
Not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler something is the first one in the graduation gown.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that Breonna Taylor all the way at the end?
Huh?
This one.
What the hell is that one?
Is that Breonna Taylor?
I don't see that one.
You don't see that one?
Well, I have mine up too. I found one alive from News Nation, but I don't see that picture now. I see the one. I see the one on the right.
Uh-huh.
Then I see. Is that Nolan in the middle still?
No, yeah.
And then the one that I see is the one in the red cap and gown.
Yeah, ain't that Breonna Taylor?
No, it's Tyler something. Oh, I can't see it that good in yours. It doesn't look like the red. Okay, I get it. No, it's Tyler somebody.
Still waiting, guys. I don't know what they're going to talk about.
Young.
Oh, here you go with that zombie thing again.
I'm going to do something, everybody. Hang on.
Doug, Doug, just in case you want to search for something, I threw mine up in the box. So if you want to add that when you're ready, you can either or. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Sometimes she do 3 days, 3 off.
Where's it at,
Sometimes
Chris?
she pick up schedules.
It's in the
Work
box
more.
for you to share whenever you're ready.
It's the one, the red?
Yeah, but you have the same one, probably,
It's
right?
not yet.
Yeah, I do.
That's just her.
Yeah,
voice.
so just throw that. I just put it there in case you wanted to search stuff.
This
But
is how she talks.
who's the guy in the Yankees hat?
Some podster. I'm gonna go ahead and this one.
Yeah. Just in case you wanted to search stuff, as I know you don't have 17 monitors like myself. So
No, I got you.
I'm dying to know who's here.
No pun intended, right?
Because remember, everything has been paid for them.
Yeah.
They haven't had to spit out a dime yet.
My guess is they won't have to spend anything when it's all said and done.
No. I mean, what's his face paid for the autopsy? Kaepernick, Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
He paid for the autopsy, and I don't know how Ben Crump works. He's probably.
What I'm saying is they're not at the end of the day. Even if
No.
they do a civil
Yeah.
lawsuit, they're not going to have to pay anything.
Nope.
Barney said, "My adopted grandfather came here from the Ukraine in early 1900s."
Wow.
Barney says, "Hot mic, hot mic, hot mic." Zombie stuff. What the hell? Yeah, I'm not sure I see any zombie stuff. Photon.
I didn't know if I was expecting Ben Crump here. Or whatever the hell his first name is.
No, it's Ben Crump.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting him here. I was expecting the
The criminal?
yes.
Well, I think he's going to be here.
Yeah, it's probably going to be both of them.
Yeah. That would be I mean, that would only make sense to me.
Yeah. I just figured this would have been about the civil
Right.
thing, and then this is where we're at and this is where we're going. But now that you see the 3 different pictures of 3 different people, now Ben Crump's bringing something up. And my only other question is, are they all from Mississippi?
Well, of course they are.
You think?
Yeah. They're probably all from that area.
Don't forget, sometimes I'm stupid.
I don't forget.
I blame that on lack of sleep.
Hey, Chris, I don't forget.
Oh, that's nice. You could have been, well, I don't think that. No, I don't forget. I
don't forget.
I don't forget nothing.
I hope they would just stop doing the dog and pony and just get up there and say something.
I know, right? 12 o'clock news conference, but we won't go on till 1.
My God.
Well, that's just to get people here.
Yeah.
It's just like putting in the header of your channel. Breaking news, a feather fell.
Yeah.
What the hell is it? Wow.
And Barney says, I was eavesdropping that hot mic.
Which one? I didn't hear none. Did I miss something?
Clickbait.
Well, that's pretty cool. So I was just reading an article from the New York Post from yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Teen murder victim found in California vineyard identified 48 years later.
Oh, wow.
The victim was identified. The 15-year-old girl found in Kern County vineyard in 1978 is Michelle Louise Collier from Fresno, California. DNA breakthrough, modern DNA and genealogy technology finally solved the case after decades using a family member's contribution to a commercial database.
Interesting.
50 years ago they were able to do it, you know?
What was the name?
Michelle Louise Collier. Collier, Collier.
Yep, Collier.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
I mean, that's 50 years ago, man.
Technology's come a long way, man.
Hell, especially this genealogy stuff. Whoop, hey, there he is, already yelling. He's just there to stir the pot. I'm telling you. That's all he's doing.
Justice for Nolan Wells.
That's his bodyguard.
Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Daniel
Justice for
Irvin.
Nolan Wells.
Justice for Daniel Irvin.
Justice for Daniel
Justice for
Irvin.
Nolan
Justice
Wells.
for Daniel Irving.
Justice for Daniel Irvin.
Justice for Daniel Irving.
Justice for Tyler Smith.
Justice for Tyler Smith.
Oh, wait a minute.
Tyler
I'm not
Smith.
supposed to be
Justice for
hearing.
Tyler Smith.
Justice for Tyler Smith.
Justice for Tyler Smith.
Justice for our black children.
Justice for our black children.
Justice for our black children.
Justice for our
Yeah,
black
it's
children.
going to be one of them.
Justice for our black
Chris.
children.
Justice for our black
Yep.
children.
Justice for our black children. Justice for our black children.
Justice for our black children. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me say how much I appreciate you all coming out for this important media conference. We have organized this press conference for a few purposes. One purpose is because we want the world to know that the National Urban League and all of our affiliates and members and supporters across the country are standing with these three families. And when families suffer the tragedy of the loss of a child, it gets lonely.
Yes, it does.
And when families suffer the loss of children under circumstances that are suspicious and to the naked eye appear unjust, we must stand with these families.
Amen.
When families face the challenge of a non-responsive criminal justice system, we must stand with these families. With this giant of a lawyer and advocate over the last 15 years, going all the way back to Trayvon Martin, we have stood with Ben Crump and his clients and we have stood with Ben Crump and his clients because we want the community to know that we are not going to be silent in the face of injustice.
Amen.
You and I cannot even fathom
I think this is a
the pain.
outcry rally.
I want to thank them for their
Oh, it is.
and being here in public under the glare of the media in these circumstances. But we want them to know they are with family. We are standing with family. So Ben Crump is going to bring us all up to date on the latest facts, events, and status of these 3 cases. And we are going to continue, as we said in the earlier session, to advocate until there is justice for these 3 families. And we will not be silent. We will not get tired.
Amen.
We will not get distracted.
Amen.
Until justice rolls down.
Amen.
In these 3 cases.
Amen.
So I'm proud to introduce a man who is known as the Attorney General for Black America. And I dare say he stands with the great lawyers that our community has produced. Thurgood Marshall, Constance Baker Motley, Johnny Cochran, and I could name so many others who over the years have been advocates for our community in many, many ways. So ladies and gentlemen, the next voice you are going to hear is from one of America's great lawyers, but someone who is giving voice to the families and the victims of injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Crump.
Let's see what he says.
And thank you to President and CEO of the National Urban League, Mark Morial. Please give a great round of applause for him not thinking it robbery to invite the families to be here at this great convention. We are so grateful to him and the others in the civil rights community for standing up like they have stood up in the past. And just like we got justice for George Floyd, just like we got justice
He has his own tie.
for Breonna Taylor, Lee Merritt, just like we got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we gonna get justice for Nolan Wales. We gonna get justice for Daniel Irvin, and we gonna get justice for Tyler Smith. And a large part is because you all are not afraid to speak truth to power.
Never.
Thank you, Mr. Mario.
Yes, sir.
Again, I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Hertz. We are here fighting for the family with other great lawyers for Nolan Wales. We also have present with us the family of Daniel Irvin, who many of you are just learning about outside of Dallas, Texas, and his tragedy. We have Attorney Sean DeRaya and Attorney Brooke Cluse fighting to help that family get justice. And we want to applaud his mother, Tamika, who has been fighting as only a mother would fight, with not many people in the world listening. But we're listening today, Tamika. You are not alone, Tamika. You got Nolan's mother and father, Christine and Elmore Wansley, who are standing with you as well. Tamika, your daughter is here. You are not alone. Y'all, please let her know she is not alone. Justice for Daniel Irvin.
Justice.
Attorney Harry Daniels, we also have the family of Tyler Smith, Lexington, Kentucky. You're going to hear from all these families. You're going to hear from Tyler's mother and especially his grandmother. You know, until the lawyers get there, till the community advocates get there, a lot of times these families are just by themselves, President Mariel. And thank God for this mother and this praying grandmother who refused to let them sweep the death of her grandbaby under the rug. And so I will say briefly about each of these tragedies. Obviously, many of you know about Nolan Wales, and you'll hear from his mother and father after brief remarks by Attorney Hertz and Attorney Park. But we all know July 4th, Nolan Wales goes with friends, celebrating 4th of July. All the friends come back. Nolan Wells tragically washes up on the shore 2 days later, dead. And so we know all the current events that have been happening. We are announcing that we have the audio from the officials, and we have retained and are consulting with some of the foremost audio engineering experts to review those audio tapes from the CETO call in its entirety. We also, and Attorney Hertz may go into greater detail on these matters, have consulted President Mariel with oceanic engineering experts to talk about how these facts are lining up. The fact that they say Nolan's body was found in the same location where they say they left him at. And so we want to know, how is that possible with the oceanic tides? We want the experts. I mean, you got low tides and high tides. It's not adding up. So we are going to dot every I and cross every T until we find out what happened to Nolan Wells. Attorney Hertz will also go into a little more detail, and Attorney Park, about how we're trying to coordinate with Dr. Roger Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy of Nolan Wells, to be able to inspect his throat that was missing with his body when he was flown to do the autopsy with Dr. Mitchell. Also, we are hopeful that they will discuss with Dr. Mitchell the photographs and observations made at the time when Nolan was first discovered, because Dr. Mitchell did not get an opportunity until July 10th to be able to examine his body. And at that time, we know the airways
Can you hear me, Doug?
I hear you now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, guys, if you want to go and watch the rest of that, just go on YouTube. You can find it. It's not exactly what we thought it was going to be. It's really just I hate to say it this way, but it's really just a dog and pony show. They're just pulling everybody out. You just heard everything that you want to hear about Nolan. They have the audio. They're working on stuff. But unfortunately, both myself and Double D, we do have to go. Apologize for the inconvenience. But if you want to check it out, it's on YouTube. But I don't think it's what anybody thought it was going to be, in my opinion. So, but again, sorry about that.
Everybody, just know that we'll be back at 5. We'll be back at 5 p.m. If you can make it, be here at 5 p.m. I'll try to be back by that time as well. Appreciate all the mods. Appreciate everyone. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here with Chris and I. It means a lot to us. And with that, everybody, it's all common sense. I appreciate you all. Thank you. If you got any questions or anything, you can email me. I'll be on the road for a little bit, so I'll chat with you all later. God bless everybody. Semper Fi.
All right, guys. See you later. Love you all. God bless. Semper Fi. See you, Doug.
Later, brother. It's all common sense, everybody. All common sense. Everything is common sense. You got it. All you guys have a great day.